Forget even half a bit. It's not your money, man.
It's not your money.
Even if you took 20,000, it's not your money. Okay. The larger picture that they miss, you are actually committing a crime against humanity.
You are.
Because that is money that was supposed to be used for the lives of the people of that particular county.
There's a hospital.
You just name it.
Yeah.
ECD, agriculture.
Kabisa.
Now you have decided you are wewe ni ECD, wewe ni agriculture.
Wewe ndio mambo yote yani.
Wewe ndio health. Okay?
Yes.
The day of reckoning will come when people were building on road reserves.
Yes.
It never occurred to them that a day would come when they'd be told either you demolish this building or we demolish it for you. We've seen this riparian land. People who are told don't build and they built, and those buildings were demolished. So you don't need to see something happening twice.
Yes.
It happens once. The possibility of it happening has already been demonstrated, so you know. Okay? That time will come.
Okay. Methali tafadhali.
We are in the Republic of South Africa. This is the last proverb for this week. If you are looking for a fly in your food, it means you are full.
If you're looking for a fly in your food,
it means you're full.
Maybe I just saw it fly into that food, and the food was really hot. If a fly flies into really hot food, it dies instantly.
If it flew into you, saw it, so you know where it landed.
Oh.
Well, why are you looking for it? So you know. You know.
Unachukua kijuko unachota
unaendelea kula. Yes. But if you're looking for it, chakula.
But you have no need for that food.
Bro, you're full.
Umeshiba umetosheka.
You're actually full.
Because when you're hungry, you don't even have time for that.
Bro, you don't have time for a lot of explanation. Yes.
Kukulanga too.
Yes.
Sometimes you even eat that fly, knowingly or unknowingly. What would you do if a fly fell into your food? Would you throw away the food, or would you take the fly and then...
Throw away the food, why?
Okay. What if it lands in your drink?
Remove the fly.
And continue drinking?
Yes.
I know of people who, when that happens, anasema, never. That entire drink becomes useless. Well, I do it like you. Toa kale kitu, katupe bana, hii kitu endelea nayo. MC Tonje amesema tuned in from Muhoroni and it's his birthday. So happy birthday MC Tonje. Karibu tena sana. And so how old are you now MC Tonje? Tuambie miaka ndio tukushukuru vizuri. Tujue ujamaa yenyewe amekula chumvi ya kutosha. Au namna gani? All right, let's get on to our website and see what's making
the headlines.
Yes. If I just open it real quick, here we are. Okay. The first story: county workers left in limbo as unpaid dues rise to 44.29 billion. Yeah. See, we just spoke about this story a few minutes ago.
We did.
Now imagine 1% of 44.29 billion. Someone is going to make, if at all this is what happens, if I assume, someone is going to make a clean, how much? 400 milli, my guy. Thousands of county employees are staring at an uncertain financial future after devolved governments accumulated more than 44 billion in unpaid salaries.
How do they do that?
Yeah, I don't know. So data from the Control of Budget shows that county governments are yet to clear 44.29 billion owed to workers. The amount includes 43.64 billion in unpaid salaries and statutory deductions, as well as 648.8 million in staff claims that have remained unsettled for more than 3 years. Aye. 3 years. Guys, come on. Sasa kama mtu alitumia pesa yake na amekuwa akingojea malipo for 3 years. Is this unfair?
No, it's ridiculous. So essentially what they're trying to imply is that the central government has not given them money for 3 years. Not true.
Yeah.
Not true. They get money. It delays,
yes,
but they get the money. And the delays are not yearly. No. Maybe a couple of months sometimes.
Yes.
So what do they do with the money?
They need to tell us.
The people who are in charge of that process for paying people, that entire lot should be brought to book.
Yes. They should.
They seem to think it is okay not to pay people. They seem ni sawa tu watu wasipolipo.
Watu wangoje bana. Ati huo anatakaje? Mambo ya 20 what? 2023. Sasa si umkumbusha tuko 2026. Bana anataka hiyo pesa.
You have actually understood the attitude that those people have, and that's exactly how they talk. Bwana shida yako nini? Si unajua utalipwa? Yeah, but bwana tulisoma juzi pesa ililipwa. I mean the county got the money. Where?
I don't know when it was, but we were talking about someone who apparently mwenye alikuwa amekataa na password. Yes, sijui system gani. I don't know if we had that conversation here on air or we had it off air somewhere. I can't remember. But I remember the conversation was around payments in the county. And apparently the reason why payments had not been effected is because there's someone who had just stayed somewhere with the county passwords and he was on leave.
That one I have had occasion to hear that myself. Myself. I have had occasion to be told, wajua nani, the person who's in charge is on leave. I said, yes, so
when they go on leave, see someone replaces them?
What do you mean?
Or sits in for them?
This password, is it in a box? So they will go with the box. I mean, what is it?
See, you can just call him and ask for the password. Ati hapana, yeye peke yake anafaa kujua. Okay, fine. Na si akuja yake your password. Na si yeye enda leave.
You're asking the same questions I asked one. I said, in the end, I asked, what are you talking about?
Okay, so ameenda leave. So nataka kuniambia until this guy comes.
He's not very easy to find. I said, what?
It's not easy to find. There's a time I even asked someone, so God forbid this person dies, that's it, we will never get paid.
That is actually not true.
Yani sasa huyo mtu mwenye ako na password, okay fine, tungoja arudi leave, hata kama atakaa leave miezi 3, it's okay. What if he dies there?
So that, you know, that process I was telling you that we have people who work in the county systems who are incompetent at theft. They do not know how to steal. Okay? This is extortion. All that is so that you can say, okay guys, how do we solve this problem? That one.
Mnataka how much? Pesa ni ngapi? 10 million Sasa unajua sina mafuta na mali hata niko, lazima nipane ndege.
Actually, it's never one person. The conversation is not around them, they being one person. Unajua tuko wengi hapa. See, what do you mean? You've just told me one person has the password. So this person has multiplied. And from one here, he's now 10 people.
They are twins.
Okay.
Triplets, quadruplets.
No. Yes, ikiendaga.
Septuplets.
So you say, okay. So what is it? I said, unajua, just so that, you know, they now start explaining to you how you should rob yourself.
Yes.
Because it is your money that you actually want.
Si yako ni 10 million.
Yes.
Kitu ufanye, si utoe hata nusu, half a million, ujamaa kuja haraka tu.
Part of the problem sometimes from those who have told me they actually they pay that money. You think you're going to get paid? Ha. Another waiting now. Another story. Unajua ile pesa.
You know, you're saying this, I remembered there's a cop along Mombasa Road. Alikuja ikafika mahali akakuwa best yangu because he realized huyu jamaa ataitwa pesa. That time he stopped me. Akaniambia bwana, unajua mtu ni unajua watu ni kuelewana, mtu hata anajiongeleanga.
Nikamwambia I understand but I don't have money.
Nikamwambia afande, najiongelelea nimefanya nini? Hata mtu anajiongeleanga tu, unajiongelelea, anasema okay, najiongelelea juu ya nowadays he just is like, hey mambo. And life goes on. One of these Fridays I'll actually buy him tea. But you get my point, mtu anakuambia ati mwenye ako na password yako, and I'm like, what do you mean? Na si yakupigie simu, like si mtu akienda mwingine anaingianga na ako na password yake.
Well, that's why some people decide, you know, let the money stay. It is. When you do the maths and the bother and the pain and the frustration, you decide.
Ndindi Nyoro raises alarm over rising goon attacks at political meetings. A growing pattern of violent disruptions at political meetings has sparked fresh concern, with Kiharu MP Ndindi Nyoro warning that the country is headed down a dangerous path if those behind the incidents are not stopped. Now, speaking at Ihura Stadium in Murang'a town during the award of bursaries to students from Kiharu constituency, Nyoro condemned the recent incidents in which groups of individuals have stormed public events, saying such actions have no place in a democratic nation. And I agree with the legislator. Yeah, he expressed concerns that gatherings attended by political leaders, members of the public, and even worshippers have increasingly become targets of disruption. Yet those responsible continue to operate without facing consequences. But ni juu watu wanajuanga, number one, waheshimiwa anatembeanga na pesa, na mkikuja kwa meetings zao mtapatiwa pesa. So you tell me if a goon or goons will not see that as an opportunity. Because why share 10,000 shillings amongst 100 people, yet you can give me as the chief goon that 10,000 bob? See, I'll come with my own goons and we shall disrupt that meeting, and you will not have that meeting until we tell you that it is okay to have that meeting. So again, hii ni shida ya politicians. Actually, it's not even about the goons themselves. It's about the politicians, because every time they come to meetings, every time they come to the ground rather, they come with pomp and color and razzmatazz, and they give people handouts, and they give people mara food. This is their own creation, my friend.
But it is.
It is their own creation.
It is. It's an industry that has been fueled by the political class.
Tukiona MPs wanapima pesa kilo kwa social media zao, na unasikia huyo mheshimiwa atakuwa hapa Ngong Road, wewe unaniambia how many goons will see that and be like, ala wase nyama ndio imejileta.
I was listening to a clip where Boniface Mwangi was talking about that young man,
the late Cecil,
who was shot the other day, and
yes,
explaining the sort of work that man did and how he went about his business. So long as politicians want crowds, and so long as politicians want the rallies of their opponents to be interrupted, goonism will not end.
Yeah, because today I'll pay the goons to disrupt yours. Yes. Then tomorrow I want to have the same meeting, and they'll be like, mwesh, see your lunch, man.
It's not lunch. You actually agree on an amount.
Yeah,
because you're told it is specific.
Yes,
my people, this.
Yes,
these people who are coming, this. And what do you want? Do you want them to sing? Do you want them to clap?
Yeah. We shall shout for you, sing for you, dance for
what
you.
Do you want them
we shall even be your security.
Yes. We can combine all those things into one, and you tell us what you want. Okay?
And also, if you don't pay, we can be the thorn in your flesh. That meeting won't happen. We shall beat your supporters, we shall stone your car, and we shall stone you.
The really organized fellows usually will get a deposit. And the ones who've understood that this is actually an industry that they are in, they will also make sure they pay their people.
Yeah.
People who are not paid, the organizer may get the money that doesn't pay the people, there'll be chaos. Yes. And we'll be saying, Nani, what percent?
Yeah.
Yes.
Boni, well, I also watched the same clip, and Boni at one point just said, you know what, nitakuwa napatia mseka kitu. Because there is no other way of engaging this person. You're definitely not going to engage the police because they are not much help. So he said, you know what, for the sake of peace on earth, we tulia nitakuwa nakujenga. Because there's a time in the same clip he said, look bro, I don't owe you anything.
Sina deni
yako.
That's the exact word,
but
yes.
Nitakuona after the meeting.
Yes.
Tusisumbuane. You don't worry, usinisumbue, na for sure sita kusumbua. And after the meeting, because there are several videos where they're actually together having a conversation, you can even see them exchanging ideas. So he was like, bro, sina deni yako, but after the meeting, I'll see you. And that was a pragmatic way of dealing with that particular issue, because he realized it's either I deal with him now or I deal with him every other time. Yeah, it's unfortunate that such things happen in this day and age. But Dede amesema kini amesema, na tunamtakia kila laheri as far as dealing with these goons are concerned. But this is something that politicians themselves walijiletea. Last but not least, police question youth PS over fatal shooting of mobilizer in Kariokor. Investigations into the fatal shooting of youth mobilizer Cecil Ouma entered a new phase on Thursday after Youth Affairs Principal Secretary Fikirini Jacobs recorded a statement with police as detectives moved to piece together the events that led to the 28-year-old's death in Nairobi. The principal secretary spent part of the day engaging investigators handling the case after being summoned to give his account of what transpired during the incident. Police officers also visited his Nairobi office, where they spoke with him and several officials as part of the ongoing inquiry. Addressing the matter publicly, Fikirini expressed grief over Ouma's death and conveyed his condolences to the family and friends of the deceased. Yeah. In normal, my friend. Like the guy just woke up in the morning, alikuwa tu sawa, kidogo kidogo akaingia kwa gari ya mhesh, na hivyo ndivyo alipumua yake ya mwisho. Alright, let's check out the traffic situation in Nairobi. If you are leaving your home right now, heading towards work or work towards home, well, this is the situation. Do we have that traffic, do I call it signature tune? Wacha nisicheze nayo saizi, inaweza nionyesha maajabu. But Ngong Road is not looking bad at this particular hour. Going Skodek, Kodhek, Gitanga, Roduko, Kikambala, Dennis Prit, State House Road. Huko mko sawa kabisa. Hata nikiangalia watu ambao wanaingia Haile Selassie wakiingia town, today Haile Selassie is actually looking very clean. Zero traffic whatsoever. Like, you guys are moving quite well. Some parts are even grey on this map of mine today. I'm looking at also South Sea area, uko Popo Road, Kapiti Road, and then of course we join the main highway, that is Mombasa Road. Hiyo barabara yote iko tu sawa. Alafu Airport North Road as well. Today is a Friday. Kweni hamtaki kwenda kazini? What's not happening? Today there is not much traffic as I'm used to seeing on other days. Ama watu wanatembea kazini leo, wakienda kazini rather. Okay, bypass huko za Eastern zote ziko sawa. Alafu tuende Mombasani. Si mnajua Mombasa, kinyenda waambia, hata nyinyi mnajua kinyenda kuambia juu ya Mombasa. Mombasa is not bad at all. Mombasa looking clean. Makupa, Tuda kule Kisauni, Bombolulu, Nyali, Mkomani. Hizo barabara zote ziko green. Sasa zenye ziko grey ni akina, kwa mfano hii ni barabara inajulikana kama Lumumba, hiyo iko grey. Mbaraki kule, Mamangina, Moi Avenue, watu kama bado hawajaamka. Hata naangalia kule Portraits, KMTC, hii barabara yote iko sawa. Ile barabara nayo iko busy, ambapo ni kama kuna yellow kwa Kiswahili ni samawati. Rangi ya samawati. Yellow kwa Kiswahili ni
green, you said?
No, green is kijani kibichi.
No, it's samawati.
Samawati, si ndio?
Yes,
what of blue? Blue, We, Loge, wewe ndio unajuanga Kiswahili. Loge naonanga akifanya news za Kiswahili hapa, faa kutuambia.
Yeah, tuambie hiyo blue ni nini?
Blue ni rangi gani? Samawati I think ni nini? Ni yellow. But anyway, yes. Huko tu Moi International Airport niona kidogo kuna rangi ya samawati, kumaanisha kuna msongamano wa magari, gari zinazoingia kule, zinazotoka kule airporti. Ama uwanja wa ndege. Lakini zinazo airport hiyo.
Right.
Inajulikana kama Utohozi City. Kubali yaishe.
Okay.
Sawa sawa?
Yes.
Sawa. But yes, you guys are moving quite well, if I may say. But if you see something on the road, please let me know, and I'll definitely tell the people of this great city of ours of Nairobi what is happening and what's not happening on the roads. But right now though, tuangalie magazeti yansema vipi, na tutaanza na, acha niangalie kama People Daily iko tayari. People Daily iko wapi? Here we go. Front page of the People Daily, it says the Wamunyoro pilgrimage, unlikely visitors signal 2027 realignment. This one is on page 4. Gachagua continues to witness leaders streaming into his backyard for what he terms wide consultations on the future of the united opposition politics. Guess who is with Gachagua? Jimmy Wanjigi. Yeah, they are seated there having a and they're all smiling. You can see all their 32 teeth, having good times as far as this photo op is concerned. What do you think they're talking about, City? The future of this country?
You know full well that I never engage in political prophecy.
Come on, City. What do you think? Mtu anaweza kukuuliza, what do you think? Useme, I think they're talking about tea or coffee or perhaps a fine bottle of whiskey.
Njigi doesn't drink alcohol.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, and Wamunyoro I also think doesn't also drink. So.
Oh yes, because the wife is a pastor.
No, it's not because the wife is a pastor.
No, it's because the wife is a pastor.
Sawa. Sawa.
Online romance. British lover, mysterious death leaves family seeking answers. Why are people killing each other, surely, guys? Is it that serious? Like, do you really have got to end someone's life or even your own life in the name of mapenzi? I don't think so.
Well, there's a Tanzanian musician called Mbarak Mushehe. Mbarak, yes. I think his band was called Morogoro Jazz Band.
Okay.
He sang a song and said, talk about mapenzi yanitesa. Wazimu wanipata kwa kufikiri wewe. Those are the lyrics of the song.
City. Yani bako nazikumbuka hizo.
The things that, oddly enough, the things of your youth you remember with great clarity.
Yes.
Hizi vitu ambazo the things that occurred in the recent past, those are the ones which sometimes, it's like I met a primary schoolmate of mine.
Yes.
This is a gentleman who went to the UK. It's called Ajay Monroe. I looked at him. I have not seen Ajay in 40 years.
Yes.
I knew it was him. So I told him, Ajay, you haven't changed. He told me, even you haven't changed. But then he told me, the only thing is you've grown a belly. I said, and I prevented you from growing a belly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who stopped you?
Yes. So, again,
yes,
the things that happened in your youth,
yes,
somehow you tend to remember them with great clarity.
True.
Yes.
True story. Sawa sawa basi. And moving on to the Standard, they are calling it thoughtless. And there's a picture here of P.S. Fikirini and the late Cecil Ouma. Whereas the name Fikirini means think, whatever transpired in the vehicle of Principal Secretary Fikirini Jacobs was anything but thoughtful. The fatal shooting inside the car has plunged the Youth Affairs Ministry into crisis, with Fikirini under mounting pressure to resign after recording a statement over the death of youth mobilizer Cecil Ouma. As investigators pieced together the events that unfolded after a youth empowerment meeting in Karioko, allegations of a cover-up, conflicting accounts and forensic findings pointing to a close-range gunshot have intensified demands for accountability.
Right.
Now, anasema so far, this is what happened. June 30th, youth mobilizer Cecil Ouma was shot inside the car of Youth Affairs PS Fikirini Jacobs. What transpired is yet to be established by investigators. And so far, Principal Secretary Fikirini Jacobs recorded a statement with police of what transpired at a youth empowerment event. At least 7 other people, including 2 police officers and an official from the PS's office, have also recorded statements. Investigators believe Ouma had helped mobilize youth to attend the event. After the meeting, Jacobs allegedly handed him 10,000 shillings to distribute among attendees, but the youths rejected the amount as inadequate. Ouma reportedly returned to the PS's vehicle to relay the youth's response. What happened inside the vehicle remains under investigation. An autopsy found that the bullet entered through Ouma's left forearm before penetrating his chest, puncturing his lungs and damaging his spine. Pathologists concluded it was a close-range gunshot and recovered the bullet for ballistic analysis. Hey, Maze. According to the pathologists, because there were 2. There was one from the family, and then there was the government one. They all came to the same conclusion. Bullet iliingilia kwa mkono, ikaingia kwa rib, ikaingia kwa lung, ikaenda mpaka kwa spine. This person drowned in his own blood.
Yes, that's what killed him.
And it's a very painful way to go. It's a very painful way to go. Anyway, that is what is on the front page of the Standard newspaper. You can check out the full story on page 4, according to them. Then on the Daily Nation, shillings 6 billion per kilometer road raises eyebrows. Okay, so ndio imeanza kuraise eyebrows. 6 billion shillings per kilometer worth of road. Okay. Raises eyebrows. So they're saying Kenya Ports Authority is spending 8.3 billion on a 1.4 kilometer road inside the port of Mombasa, according to contract documents obtained by Nation, which have clauses on price variations, raising questions whether taxpayers are getting value for money for the project, whose budget includes luxury items.
What? The road has luxury items?
So this is what the breakdown of that particular costing is like. So they are calling it cost breakdown for KPA's 1.4 kilometer road.
Yes.
Actual description. Actual road construction works clearly marked at 1.48 billion. Sawa. And then there's some few coins on top. Concrete works 3.3 billion. Actually it's 3.354 236 utaiona hapo. Then miscellaneous bridge works. This is now miscellaneous. Unakumbuka tukiambiwa miscellaneous? Someone mentioned miscellaneous here. Miscellaneous bridge works 223 million.
Okay.
Hii ni miscellaneous.
Okay.
Specifically at 223 million. Mimi nakumbuka nikitengeneza wanga budget zangu miscellaneous inakuanga a rounded figure. 2,000, 3,000, 10,000.
Miscellaneous, does that refer to something that will actually be done, but it somehow lacks
clarity on what exactly it is?
Yes, it lacks specifics. Or is it a budget for you never know?
For me, miscellaneous means you never know. That is why I have a miscellaneous for my budget. So I put it at, like I said, a rounded figure. It could be 2,000, 1,000, 3,000. It will never be 1,224.45 shillings. It will never be 3,222. It is either 3,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 or even 10,000.
It's a general amount that's supposed to cover an eventuality that wasn't anticipated.
Yes, it will never be 9,999 shillings. It's 10,000. Anyway.
All right. So they're telling us
yes
that so miscellaneous. What else is that budget?
So miscellaneous is 223,432,000.
Understood that.
And 32 shillings. Sawa. Miscellaneous iko namba 32 shillings. But anyway, piling works. I don't know what this is. It is at 687,575,000.
Yes, please continue.
Preliminary and general items 686,711,979. Variations and contingencies.
See, I thought that's
miscellaneous and contingencies.
That's miscellaneous now.
Anyway, so variations and contingencies 968,252,650. HIV awareness, health and safety activities at 22,086,958. 22 million for HIV awareness.
Actually, that can be computed. And it can even be explained.
Bro, munajenga barabara ya 1.4 kilometers.
Yeah.
1.4 kilometers city mali tuko hapa. If I can just take us directly to Ngong Road, 1.4 kilometers is roughly from here to Kenyatta Hospital pale.
It is up to Nairobi Funeral Home.
Okay. Tulikuwa tunakaribiana. So Nairobi Funeral Home, that roundabout, that is 1.4 kilometers. So even if we were to talk to the communities around us here for HIV awareness,
yes,
I'm assuming that's the reason, unless we are doing this for the entire country. If it's talking to the communities,
22 million can't be for the entire country.
yes. So if it's the communities around this area, to say that we cross over to Kibra.
Let me ask you the question: the communities around the port, which communities?
I don't know, but I'm just saying if
I know what the port looks like. And I am aware.
Yes.
There are residential units that belong to the port, which are near the port.
The SQs, servants' quarters of the port officials, or what?
Well, yes.
Port workers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not servants' quarters. Though in a sense you're not wrong. They're servants at the port. No.
Okay.
It's just employees of the port.
All right. Sawa.
Yes, they exist. What I'm trying to say is this:
22 million doesn't make sense. In very many words.
Clearly, apart from being a prophet, you're a ventriloquist.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
No. Why did I just open my mouth
and then I talk,
and then you just say what it is that I want to say? Okay. Nimefungua mdomo. Sema. No, those figures don't make sense.
Yeah, so 22 million for HIV awareness and health and safety
activities. Break it down so that we understand what you're talking about, man.
Discount, and then into brackets, to be subtracted. This is 229,717,173. Then taxes at 16% VAT, 1.150 billion. So total contract price is basically 8.344 billion. Hiyo ndio pesa mnatengeneza nayo barabara ya kutoka hapa hadi pale Nairobi.
The only thing that makes sense to me is the concrete works.
Okay.
Because given what happens at the port,
yes,
given what they deal with, the equipment, the weight of the goods there, these tarmac roads they cannot fulfill that purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, but 1.5 kilometers of concrete.
Yes.
And that amount of money.
Oh yes.
Abana.
Yeah.
Well, the same discussion is being had regarding this bridge that we now have at the junction.
Yes.
And there's a comparison with what we have at the T-Mall.
Right.
And the question people are asking is,
they are more or less the same.
Yes. No, the junction one is longer.
Okay.
They're saying, but
your pesa.
Yeah, exactly. This thing. And
kidogo.
Nah, kidogo.
Haimeki sensi.
Yes, but you see, that one was 3.5
B.
3.2 was the T-Mall.
Yeah.
So one 3.5. And they're saying, so how?
Yeah.
If you look at the way they built it, the structures, the pillars, the things that hold it, there's a lot that can be explained, but they never explain it, do they?
No, they don't. They don't.
Yes. So we are left to figure it out. Yeah. And you see now, my figuring it out is from a position of absolute ignorance.
Yeah.
So I'll just throw figures into the air.
Okay.
Hiyo simiti zinatoka Kenya.
Si Bamburi na kina Ndovu.
Yes. Is there anything that we do? And still, we have steel.
Yeah. Si kuna kina MRM huku.
Yes. There's a guy even called Dave Key.
Kuna kina Doshi.
Yes. There are very many people.
Right.
So when you say steel, what do you mean? Anyway, those are the figures.
Patients' agony as Kenyatta National Hospital increases medical fees. Patients at Kenyatta National Hospital have been forced to skip life-saving procedures or dig deeper into their pockets after the country's largest public referral hospital quietly raised charges for several specialized services in April with no prior notice to patients who had traveled from across the country for scheduled appointments. You are excused. Colonoscopy, before April it was at 9,800. After April, 25,000. And then colonoscopy plus biopsy was 11,600. Right now, 27,500. Endoscopy was at 6,500. It's now 20,000. Endoscopy plus biopsy was 9,000. Now it's at 22,500. Ultrasound.
Repeat that one again.
Endoscopy plus biopsy. Sorry. Endoscopy plus biopsy was 9,000 before April. It is now priced at 22,500. Alafu kuna ultrasound scan. Hii scan ya kawaida tu ya ultrasound. Before April, it was at 1,800. It is now 4,800. Okay?
What about dialysis?
Haijawekwa hapa hiyo, maybe iko kwingine. Consultation fee was at 1,150. It is now 1,550. That is a 35% increase. Then colonoscopy sedation. It seems like it wasn't there before. It is now at 650. It's a new charge. So before it wasn't charged. You would go there and the sedation was free. It is now being charged at 650 shillings.
Which means it is not free.
It is definitely not free. That is an increase of 650%. Literally from zero.
Right.
So there you have it, man. Charges have really gone up. Because I can imagine someone who was getting these charges, for example, this one that you were getting at 9,800, then suddenly you step in there, 22. You're being told 25,000, man. All right. There you have it. Over to you, City.
There we have it, huh? All right.
There you have it.
Why don't I look at what the Business Daily has to say? Business Daily has some very interesting stories. Bang in the middle of this particular paper, there's a stockbroker's bag, 4 billion in Safaricom shares trade. Okay? Safaricom is still in the news. Shares are trading, and they're trading well. Okay? Abraham Ongege, a banker who became the man people trust. This is the story about Stanbic and the person who is the chief officer there. His story, his history. That's under profiles. Companies. Sport Pesa jackpot dispute escalates to identity battle. There was 109 million shillings that was won, and this is not at yesterday. No. No. This is a story that began quite should we say a while back. And now the problem is that the question that is raising and why it's becoming an issue is, one, they're saying this person should be paid. Others are saying, no. First of all, the person who won, do we know that this person you're saying should be paid is the person who actually won?
It was 98 million.
109 million.
Oh, 109 million. Okay. So wanasema there could be some fraudulent activity going on.
Essentially, so nobody anjalipwa. And these are the issues at stake. Okay.
I have heard before on that issue of betting, gambling, people have been complaining that, hey, perhaps this money is that people win this 109 million, 200 million, ikwangi ni ushindi ukweli. Na kwanga ni tunasikizana na City, tell City, now you know, this money has to go back to the pool. But you will be the winner, you'll be the jackpot winner. Then at the end of the day, you take even 5 million. Sawa na utulie. Then the remaining 104.
This is Kenya, isn't it?
Ni Kenya, mwanangu.
And Kenya has very many stories. Heavy electric trucks roll into Kenya as fuel costs bite.
Electric trucks?
Yes. When it comes to electric vehicles, the Chinese are the ones who are at the forefront of it, and they are doing well. My problem is this.
Yes, sir.
It's not complicated. Where do you charge these things?
Akisiti salu meuliza mara mingi.
Well, I'm asking. Okay, let me explain.
Okay.
You have an electric vehicle, which is, say, an Uber.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
You have a guest who wants you to take them to Naivasha. Okay?
Yes.
And you've been running around. Okay? But that vehicle has a charge that can last 200 kilometers. What are you going to do?
200 kilometers?
Yes.
So, how far is Naivasha from here?
Around 100 kilometers.
100 kilometers.
Yes.
So it can go and come back because you have charge worth 200 kilometers.
This is the point here. You are not waiting for that. You've been moving around. You probably consumed a good portion of the charge.
So it tells you how much, just like your phone tells you the percentage. It tells you that the range on this vehicle currently, okay, you have 70% battery worth, and this is going to take you maybe 120 kilometers. So
my complaint is this. Something can happen. There is need for me to be sure that there are intermittent places where
you can charge.
Yes, there's nothing else that I am.
Let me explain something. I know that some of these companies, and you've seen the electric taxis, yeah? There's a kaka called Neta. I think it's called Neta.
I've seen Neta.
Nikagari kadogo tu kazuri
I've seen Neta.
So those ones, within the city, they have their own charging network. Because they were not just going to bring these cars here and not have support. It's the same way you buy an Isuzu pickup. They have got service centers all over the country. So even if you're in Mombasa, you're assured of spare parts and a service center. Even if you're in Eldoret, you're assured of that particular facility. So even these two small electric vehicles you're seeing, they have got a network of charging. But
in Nairobi.
And also, let me finish. It has got its own charging cable. The same way your phone comes with a charger. Hii gari inakujanga na charger yake pia, and it has an adapter that you can connect to your mains in the house kawaida tu. Okay, so what it does, it either has a step up or a step down. Yes, it's like a component nika unit katoshana, maybe it's a significant size. So you just connect it to the socket in your house, then you connect it directly to the vehicle and it charges. So it either steps up the charge or the power rather, or it steps down the power depending on the outlet, the voltage on your outlet. So ziko na charger.
Are they paying you commission to explain this?
No, they're not, but it's
should.
because I have watched all this ninis. So what happens in special instances, let's say you're driving to Naivasha, like you've put it, you can get to a restaurant and just request to plug in. Sasa mtasikizana tu na mwenye restaurant kama utalipia units.
No, that's tacky.
Lakini there's that possibility.
Tacky, completely tacky.
Yes.
No.
In America and other European countries where they have got a good network, it doesn't really matter on which road you're using your vehicle. They actually have charging stations at places like petrol stations or malls or even restaurants. So you just get to the specified place, plug in your vehicle as you do your shopping. By the time you exit, maybe you've been shopping for 20-30 minutes, charge yake imeongezeka by about 30-40%.
Turkey, that one no.
Then you just get to the next spot, charge.
It's much simpler to drive a vehicle that consumes fossil fuel.
It is much simpler, yes.
I don't have to complicate my life.
However, let me tell you, there are vehicles that have got a range of 500 miles plus. If you convert that to kilometers, we're talking about over 900 kilometers of range. That means you can drive all the way to Mombasa and back without charging that vehicle.
No, you can't.
You can.
No.
You can.
500 miles?
Yes.
No.
500 miles ukimultiply by 1.6
inakuja ngapi?
Inakuja 800.
And what's the distance from here to Mombasa?
Okay, utaicharge mtito ande ukirudi. But you get my point, yeah?
I get your point. But the point I was making on this particular subject has not changed.
Yes.
Yes.
Sawa City.
No. My friend. Hapana.
Lakini pia gari yako ukitoka nayo hapa, ukifika Mombasa you'll have to fuel it.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you get to Mombasa, charge the car.
Paul.
Yes.
With my car, I do not need to wait for Mombasa. Man, even as I drive out of Nairobi,
yes,
there are more fuel stations than I know what to do with.
Exactly.
Okay. And as I move along, I can fuel at Salama. I can fuel, there are so many places I can fuel in. I can fuel at Imali. I can fuel at Mtitwandei.
Yes.
I can fuel at Voi. I can fuel at Mariakani.
And it's good. That's why I'm telling you, there are vehicles that have got that particular range, such that you don't even need to fuel at Mariakani, at Voi, at Mutito. You don't need.
Forget it.
City kubali technology.
Forget it. That one, no.
Aya, soma story moja before tuingie kwa news.
Yes, this is just the Star. Just one story in the Star. That is in the headlines. Kalonzo, I am regarded pick for presidency. Gachagua preparing supporters for possibility he may not run. Okay.
There's a possibility who will not run?
Gachagua. That is the headline. I'm just telling you what is in the headline. Okay.
Okay.
Not what I think. Bas. Nimemaliza hiyo story.
Kuna mtu hapa ametuandikia message anasema ni vile hatuna uwezo, but true story kwa ground 10,000 divided by 60 equals to 166 shillings the whole day. Alafu mtu anaenda kuongelea wenzake, anaambiwa hakuna do, kama hawezi gawa hiyo akwende huko kurudisha do pap. Hapo ndio mambo ilichemka. Yeah, I mean we read this story yesterday, but here's the thing. I'm thinking that number one, why are we even paying people to come to a rally?
Why not?
Why not? Why are we paying people to come to a rally?
Why not?
Why not go to where they are? City. Why not just go to where the people are? That way, we don't need to pay anyone. We don't need to pay anyone to come for any meeting whatsoever.
Paul, clearly you do not understand our politics.
Yeah.
If you wish to have a crowd of people and you are specific about the type of people you want, essentially, it's not sourcing. Now you are in the realm of procurement.
Yeah.
Okay? These same politicians, these people who are in high positions in government are the ones who introduced this idea.
Okay.
So. What you say and what you are alluding to is that we shouldn't really pay, and I agree we shouldn't.
Yeah.
But when I'm asking why not, the trend has been set. It is considered to be the norm. So,
okay. It's considered to be the norm.
Yes. That young man wouldn't have had a discussion with those people if there had been no agreement about payment.
Okay.
If all you were doing was providing a service and the service was free, there would have been no discussion about money, would there?
There wouldn't.
Yes, so
I'm just saying, if a PS, a CS, member of parliament, whoever it is, a director of wants to come and talk to the people, just let him come and do the whole talking where we are, even if it's a market? Because I'm sure the PS was addressing the youth.
If there is no per diem, if there is no facilitation fee, you'll talk to yourself and the furniture.
Nani sawa?
That is the reason why you're not a politician.
Here's the news with Winnie Maganga.
This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has assured Kenyans that the government is prepared for possible El Nino rains expected this year. Speaking after chairing a cabinet committee meeting, Kindiki said the government is closely monitoring weather forecast and has placed all relevant ministries and agencies on high alert to deal with any emergencies. He told Kenyans there is no cause for alarm, saying measures are already in place to ensure the country is not caught unprepared.
Again, we want to assure the country that there is no need of panic, and we are engaged. All the ministries, department agencies, all organs of state are engaged to ensure that in the event of the actualization of the prediction by the scientists, the country is prepared and we are not taken to surprise. We will ensure that we mitigate and take action to make sure that we do not have a disruption of a civic order. We don't have disruption of movement of goods and services.
Nyaribari Masaba Member of Parliament Daniel Manduku has asked Parliament's Defense and Foreign Relations Committee to explain the disappearance of 2 Kenyans in Russia. Speaking in the National Assembly, Manduku called for an update on the whereabouts of Frank Mare and Kevin Momanyi. He also asked what the Kenyan embassy is doing to find them and what measures are in place to protect Kenyans living, working or studying abroad.
Request for statement regarding the disappearance of 2 Kenyan citizens in the Russian Federation. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations regarding disappearance of 2 Kenyan citizens in the Russian Federation. Honorable Speaker, Mr. Frank Anyono Mare, holder of passport number that and ID number that, and Mr. Kevin Momanyi Onderi, holder of ID number that, departed Kenya for the Russian Federation on the 20th of October 2025. According to information provided by the respective families, the last communication with the 2 individuals was on the 4th of December 2025.
Moi University plans to restructure its operations, including reducing staff, as it works to recover from years of financial problems. Acting Vice Chancellor Professor Kiplagat Kotut told the National Assembly Education Committee that the university is reviewing employee workloads before laying off some workers to cut costs and stay operational. The university says it is now showing signs of recovery after several interventions helped rescue it from financial crisis.
And liabilities exceeding the current assets by 8.6 billion.
Yeah.
That technically you are insolvent.
The university is technically insolvent and numbers never lie. When I came in, I supported the management through database advisories because that is one of the key internal audit role.
We realize some people have actually not been teaching. They have been here doing nothing. So we are saying, yes, they are parasiting on the other. So we are saying if you've not been having work, why don't we release you to go?
A man has been rescued alive after being trapped for 8 days in the rubble of a building that collapsed after twin earthquakes in Venezuela. Emergency workers managed to free Hernan Gil more than 100 hours after they had first located him under 140 tons of rubble. A Chilean firefighter had earlier described the rescue operation as without doubt the most complex and technically difficult which I've had to tackle. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga.
And we are back. This is Radio Generation. The time right now is 7 minutes past 7 o'clock. How are you doing? Well, it is in this particular hour where we will have our very first conversation, and we're hoping that you will join us and contribute to what we'll be talking about. But before we get down to business, as I introduced our guest in studio, it is Moses Nyanduga. He's a student leader at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. Musa, how are you doing, bro? Nice to see you again.
Thank you so much. I'm doing good.
Uko salama kabisa, eh?
Uko salama.
Siti atakupatia methali yetu ya leo, alafu akisha kupatia methali yetu ya leo, wewe utaambia unafikiria nini, si unajua tu how we do it, eh?
True.
Then I ask you the next question. So Siti, over to you, my friend.
Right. Our proverbs for the whole of this week have been from the Republic of South Africa. South Africa has been in the news, and it continues to be in the news. Right. Those are things that are happening that change so many things.
Yes.
On the continent and elsewhere. The proverb: if you are looking for a fly in your food, it means that you are full.
Very true. Very true. And it is true that if you are looking for a fly in your food, you are a fool.
Yeah.
It's because you see, we live in a world whereby it's a world of possibilities.
Yes.
And we have several factors which determines our fate and destiny.
Right.
Whether it's an individual, an entity, an organization, or even as a country at large. So when we live in a situation like this, and if you are so much interested in finding a problem where you live, whether it's all about character, you as an individual, you'll automatically get it, because vile tunasema kwa Kiswahili, hakuna kitu kizuri ambayo inakosa dosari. So at the end of the day, if you are in the process of looking for a fly, you're a fool, because automatically you'll get it. And there is already a progressive approach of identifying the problem, and maybe assessing it. Yes.
I like this one. Although City meant that umeshiba, yani you're full.
Yes.
But I like the fact that you took it, made it your own, and your interpretation also still makes a lot of sense.
True, yeah.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
Kuna swali tulikuwa tumeulizana hapo awali. Do you know color blue in Kiswahili?
Color blue.
Inaitwa aje color blue kwa Kiswahili?
Samawati.
Is it samawati?
Samawati.
Yeah,
actually.
samawati.
Yellow nayo?
Yellow, hapana.
Sasa nimekumbushwa na one of our colleagues there that ni manjano. I had totally forgotten that yellow is manjano. What do you think of what happened a couple of days ago when we lost Cecil Ouma in what police are still investigating?
Well, I'll give these two approaches. And number one, it's so sad, and let me send my condolences to the family and to the nation at large, because when we lose one of us, it means all of us are in a danger. And this is something, this is not the first time we are losing a young person from a political spree. I'll say this because we have lost so many people in unclear circumstances. And when you have a look at the circumstance under which it happened, I'll say we are losing ethic as a country. Our leaders are now leading us into a retrogressive direction. Seeing a young person being brutally killed. And when you look at the investigation and everything, circumstance, it's revolving around a senior government official. So I'll say it's so bad. And our political direction must never reach at that. And also to the young people, we have a problem also. I think it's better kama tunaweza vumilia pia. There is no country without problems. There are very many countries with problems. Even the great United States we are talking about, they have several problems. But how you handle all these problems matters a lot. So I'll say, as young people also, we must also change our behavior. A situation whereby a political party leader will come, or an influential person call you and do everything in the name of handouts, it's also leading us into a very, very bad direction as a country.
Actually, before we went for the news, I was just telling CT that why does a politician need to pay people money for mobilization? Because it is alleged that Ouma alikuwa na mobilize fellow comrades.
True.
Na wakapatiwa 10,000 na wakasema hiyo pesa bwana ni kidogo sana. Tuwezi gawana watu 60 bwana.
Yes.
Kidogo money. Of which I agree. 60, I mean, 10,000 shillings and we are 60 of us. And you had told us, imagine where I've come from.
True.
I've spent bus fare. Of course, I'm expecting some lunch.
True.
You know?
Yes.
So 160 surely. What really can I do with that money? But I was telling City,
yes,
why doesn't the politician just go where the people are? Such that there's no need for a handout.
Yes.
Akuje kama alikuwa anataka kuongea na vijana wa Kamukunji for example. Ende Kamukunji kuna soko.
Yes.
Aongeleshe watu wa Kamukunji hapo kwa soko, vijana watakuja.
True.
Ama aende kwa kanisa,
yes,
ama aende kwa msikiti kama atakubaliwa.
Yeah.
Ama aende mahali. Yani kuna many places that he could have gone to in my opinion.
Yes, true.
Again, City reminded me that I'm not a politician.
Yeah.
Of which I agree. But you're the politician.
Yes.
What do you think? Shouldn't the politician or the government official, if he really needs to relay information that he feels is important to us, akuje malituko?
You see, this can as well be attributed to the two main factors.
Okay.
When you see a politician paying for young people to show up in their events,
yes,
then it means they have performed dismally.
Yes. They're not popular.
They're not popular, exactly, among the electorate. A leader who is truly popular and a leader who has served his constituents in a decent manner won't even spend 1 shilling to mobilize a crowd. They'll just come, and actually nobody will even ask them for money. Because at the end of the day, the people will say, if our problem was the health system, he has fixed.
Yes.
If our problem was the infrastructure, he has developed it. So at the end of the day, the kind of leaders we have in the country, majority of them are not popular, are not popular on the basis of performance. That is why you see them they're using tokenism as the primary access point to the electorate.
Yes.
And on the other side, you see, the problems we have in this country is by design. The leaders don't want us to empower ourselves.
Okay.
And actually, in the onset of independence, and even currently in our struggle, we have been looking forward to have a government which will be working for us as we work for ourselves.
Yes.
And this is what's lacking. So you find a situation whereby if the government is not working for you as you work for yourself, they'll be running away from you. And that is why they cannot do whatever you are proposing. A situation whereby if you want to dress young people from Kamukunji,
yes,
you just go to that area. It's because they have underperformed to an extent. Majority of young Kenyans have been subjected into poverty,
right,
unemployment, and a lot of problems, so that when they see the local MCA, the MP, and even the governor, the only thing they can think about is about money and handout, so that they can survive on their own. Yes.
Imagine how bad that is, that you have got to wait for a political leader or a government official to visit you and do any mupate ka lunch.
Yes, it's so sad. It's so sad.
But what happens during the times when there are no meetings? Because it's not as though these meetings are there every day.
True.
So how do these people survive in the interim?
Yes, they've been surviving, but you see, the other side of the coin that we must just mention is that even if they've been surviving without these people, it has reached a point whereby some of us young people, we see them as the saviors.
Okay.
You've faced a lot of problems to an extent. When you see a politician coming to you, you see them as the only avenue to maybe to end your problem, to your unemployment, and to maybe even get something for lunch or even dinner. So as much as we've been surviving without them, there reaches a point that when you hear the local MP is coming around, the governor is around, the only thing you can do is to run towards the avenue, so that at least, even if it's 500 shillings, then you are very sure maybe with lunch and for the dinner. Yes.
Right now, how much does a comrade need in one day just to survive through morning till evening?
A comrade needs a minimum of 250 shillings. And this is how it's being distributed.
Okay.
In the morning, you see, there is increase in food prices in majority of our universities' cafeteria.
Okay.
And this can be attributed to many factors, including the cost of purchase of these food materials. So in the morning, you need an average of 60 shillings to have a better breakfast.
What does 60 shillings buy you?
60 shillings will buy you 2 chapo and 1 cup of tea, of course.
Okay.
So it's something which is...
how big are the chapos?
The medium size...
no, what's a medium size?
You see, it's like just the normal kind of chapo we buy next to the road.
Unajua city hanunuangi chapo. Hii mambo city haelewi.
Haelewi. Hajaka hapa kwa ma street.
Usi comrade.
Oh, so for your information, CT, the medium-sized chapo is
just demonstrate your hand.
Yeah, inaweza toshana hivi. Inaweza toshana hivi.
Okay.
It's something much.
Is it light or is it heavy?
Of medium size? Heavy
Medium
kidogo,
weight.
medium weight.
Okay.
So if
Is
you
it
have
made
to,
from brown, unga or white?
now both, it reaches a point when you go to the cafeteria, they'll ask you, do you need the brown chapo or the white? And the majority of the comrades wanapenda brown chapo. There is that misconception. I call it a misconception. And apart from the healthcare, they say, hii ndio inashika tumbo vizuri.
Oh.
So if you have two in the morning with 1 cup of tea, then
That's
it can
60
push
bob.
you. That's 60 bob.
Okay.
Because one chapo
Can
is
you
20.
can you eat the same meal for less money elsewhere?
Bei ya comrade inakuanga bei.
It's
No,
tricky
I just want
because
to-
even if you move outside the institution to the local kibandaskis and maybe the hotels, it's still the same. One
Yes.
cup of tea, still mbao, and one chapo is still mbao. And in some of the
Bao is how much money?
20 shillings. Oh, you said city is not a comrade, so I
It's a problem, my friend.
yeah. So in fact, when
What
you
do mean
go,
I'm not a comrade. I'm not a Gen Z.
yeah, oh, when you move outside city, it can even be expensive because in some of the hotels, that chapo is even 40 shillings or 30.
Yes, you're right.
So that can
So the
push you.
cafeteria prices their food reasonably.
Yes.
All right. So from that 250 tumetoa 60.
60.
Tumebaki na 190.
190. Lunch hour, you spend 190. That is chapo mbili and beans, or tentatively
Wait, ati for how much?
for 90.
For 90.
For 90.
90 shillings.
90 shillings.
All right, all right.
Then, or if you don't want again chapo because we had already consumed it in the morning, you can have rice beans with maybe 2 bananas, still at 90 shillings. Then now the 100, which is on the top, is now for dinner because for supper. I mean, you'll just go and maybe have ugali sukuma. And with a little bit of egg, or maybe you'll just have omena ugali.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it around.
Ati hiyo sapa ina cost how much tena?
100.
100, eh?
100, yeah.
So that is omena ugali.
Yes.
Umesema nini nyingine?
Omena ugali, or you can have greens ugali.
Yes, and kanyama.
Not kanyama,
No,
but egg kidogo.
Okay, okay.
When you add nyama, now the price moves to 150 shillings. Yes.
When I was in KU, between 2006 and 2010, we would have ugali, kasukuma, and either matumbo or nyama for as little as 50 shillings.
Yeah.
Okay. Which century was this in?
I said between 2006 and 2010. Yeah.
This century.
This century, yes, yes.
This century.
Yeah, so you could have ugali, kasukuma, and of course 5 liters of soup. And but now this one was at KM.
Yes.
I'm sure you heard of KM.
Yes, naijua.
Hata kama uko Jaikwa tunajua KM.
Yes.
Alafu pia kwa mess ilikuwa inateremka inakuwa either I think it was either 20 bob or 30 bob. Now you'd have ugali and your nyama and a green could be skuma, cabbage, spinach or whatever. So it was actually quite cheap during, and I actually found it very cheap because my pocket money per week was 500.
And again, it depends with your formation.
Yes.
Sometimes you can have 011. I believe we'll translate to city. We have 101. So city 011 means in the morning you won't eat anything. That is why it's 0.
Unainama.
Then, unainama in fact kwa hiyo lugha ya comrade. Then when it comes to lunch hours,
0.
You'll have 1 now because we are going to eat.
Yeah.
Then dinner, supper, I mean 1. When you have
That is 011.
011, yes, true. Then 101, it means you'll have breakfast and supper, but no lunch. So it depends with your pocket. So sometimes you can't afford that 250. You can even have 100. Okay. So for 100, you'll do what you'll do. You are going either to choose. Wacha nikai the whole day kama sijakula, but ikifika supper, I eat a very heavy supper.
Okay.
Yes.
That is crazy, but that is as far as comrade ship is concerned. Hiyo maisha ni ngumu.
Ni ngumu sana.
So umesema sasa with 250 you can have that 011 or 101 or 110.
Yes.
It's crazy, man. Let's get to what actually brought you here. It's about the petition to amend section 18B of the Universities Act of 2016
2016,
right? Yeah, which deals with the appointment of vice chancellors, the deputy vice chancellors, the university council, and so on and so forth.
It actually deals with the election of student representatives.
Oh, this is not about the vice chancellors. Okay,
yes.
Please go on.
So, pursuant to the Constitution 2010 and Article 37, the Constitution 2010 gives us a right to protest, picket, and petition the relevant authorities. And you see, as an individual, I've been so loud in questioning some of the ongoings in various universities in the country. I'll give you 3 instances. I questioned why the government was so slow to pay the lecturers, while at the very same time, still the Auditor General report has never changed from the fact which we were being told we are losing an average of 2 billion shillings per day. And I used to question if the lecturers need around 7 billions.
Yes.
That it means the amount we are losing in 3.5 days was enough to pay the lecturers.
And this 7 billion across all public universities?
Across all public universities. Their areas they were demanding.
Okay.
But now I came to question, why is it that lecturers were now having 7-week strike? The next thing I questioned about was about examination.
Yes.
I believe the Kenyan education system is failing young people. A situation whereby you'll go to the university, election is based on is issued on the basis whereby you'll read notes. Some of us cram. You go, make down your points.
Yes.
You even score A's. You graduate with the first class. But in the real sense, the oral presentation of it is poor. I was demanding, if good, let us have a hybrid examination system. 50% written exam. 50% oral and practical examination. And now lastly, I'm questioning the petition. I'm questioning the election of student representatives. In 1970s and 60s, student activism and revolution was acting as an alternative during times of crisis and needs. We will remember the role of student activism in the struggle for multi-party democracy,
yes,
in the struggle for the new constitution, and political hygiene in this country. The current delegate system of electing student representative in various universities in our republic is not sustainable. It is not sustainable in the following ways. Number one, the delegate system is a collegial voting system whereby each and every department is designed to produce 3 delegates to represent them into the electoral college. That is where you find an institution with a total number, maybe of 11 departments, will now have a total of 33 delegates. The 33 delegates will sit down and make a decision for more than 40,000 students to elect their chairperson, to elect secretary general, and any other student leader. This has led to tribalism in this way. Because I'm a student and I understand better, you find a situation whereby during election, you find they form groups, Luo Student Association, Kiko Student Association, Luya Student. In fact, they pretend that we are working like this to empower ourselves. Which kind of tribal empowerment do you need in a 21st century in a learning institution? But the main agenda of this tribal student organization in our universities is that they'll sit down and endorse one of their own for this position. If they're Luyas, they'll say, let our Luya delegates go and elect one of our own as the school president or as the secretary general. Apart from tribalism, this thing has led to weak governance. You were there, Mbovi, seeing some students questioning the system, the same way I'm doing today, whereby if there is corruption, they will stand, they will address the media and question, why is there much to corruption in this country? You'll find a situation whereby they were so much interested in understanding the direction we were taking as far as education, health, and agriculture sector is concerned. But today, the kind of leaders, in fact, you look at some of them and you wonder, is this a leader leading 40,000 students in a university really? Whereby a comrade will be killed, even by thugs around. This student leader will never even sit down with the OCPD of the area, will never sit down with the OCS of a certain police station to question the same. You find a situation whereby there is delayment when it comes to payment of HELB. There is no student who can question, who can even go and sit down with even the director of these relevant authorities. You find a situation whereby corruption, lecturer strike, and there is nobody to air all this. again, the delegate system contravenes the Kenyan Constitution 2010. Article 1 of the Constitution is clear that the sovereignty of the people, the sovereign power is the most supreme power in the land.
Okay.
There is no power that is greater than the sovereignty of the people. So if you cannot give people their sovereign power to choose their leaders,
yes,
then it means in one way or another you are against their will and demand. It in another way contravenes the Constitution 2010 under chapter 4 of the Constitution, which is the heaviest chapter, where we talk about the Bill of Human Rights.
Yes.
1945 United Nations Declaration of Human Rights states clearly, each and every person must, in one way or another and equally, have a right and choice to elect their leaders. So if you are bringing in delegate system as opposed to popular vote system, then you are not only contravening the 2010 Constitution, the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights of 1945, but at the same time the natural laws, because as a human being, you should be the primary CEO to your destiny.
True.
So there is an alternative we are recommending in this situation, which is the popular voting system, where each and every student is allowed to vote. And you see, the main reason they brought in the delegate system, they were saying that it was leading to a lot of chaos and everything. But
the popular vote was leading to a lot of chaos.
And
and is it true?
It is true. That is true. But I have this opinion.
Who decided that this was a better system of voting?
Nice. In 2016, the then majority leader, Aden Duale, tabled a petition to the National Assembly, which was unanimously passed to change the voting in universities. That is why you call it Section 18B of the University Act 2016, to allow now for delegate system as opposed to the popular vote system. And he was arguing that the popular vote was bringing a lot of chaos, even leading to loss of life for some of the universities. It is true. However, you cannot use a case study in one learning institution,
which was University of Nairobi, because of Babu Owino at the time.
Yes, and to judge now all other remaining universities. I think if they were really serious about this system, they will say, let each university identify some of the students who have already been culprits during times of elections to cause crisis leading to loss of life. It's either they be suspended maybe for a maximum of 1 or 2 years, so that it can also be a lesson to others of the same ill, or they'll probably say, in an institution such as this, let us tighten some of the vetting rules, so that if you have any disciplinary action, if you have any disciplinary case, then you won't be allowed to vote. But you cannot use the
allowed to vote or allowed
to contest. I mean, both in fact, either to vote or to contest, so that it can act as an example. But you cannot use the case study of University of Nairobi to judge all other more than 50 universities in the land. So I believe it was a very wrong decision. But now that already it exists, why the National Assembly? We submitted the petition on 21st May this year to the clerk of the National Assembly for the amendment of Section 18B of the Universities Act.
I know you're the one spearheading it, but it's you and how many others?
We are 3 in total.
All right.
So somebody will ask,
all from one university or different?
2 from JKUAT, 1 from KU.
All right.
Yes. And somebody will ask, why the National Assembly? Is the National Assembly because the law exists as an act of the National Assembly, and therefore it's the National Assembly which is the relevant authority to amend the act. If successfully amended, it will bring a lot, in fact, more advantages than disadvantages.
Yes.
On the matter of chaos, I'll urge the government, after each and every 5 years, Kenyans usually lead to the ballot to elect their new leaders.
General election.
And it's an election on the basis of universal suffrage, where each and every individual is usually given a chance to vote. Kenya has enough government machinery, security machinery, to take control of more than 20 million voters. So you cannot reason a university like JKUAT with 44,000 students can defeat the government machinery. And remember, when it comes to universities, we usually have different election calendars. So chaos is not a reason we can use to deny comrades their constitutional right to
Okay.
elect their leaders. Yes.
Is there any cost implication to this? Because now, if we are going to bring in the police and perhaps people to supervise the election other than the police, but I don't know, would we have to bring in IEBC, for example?
The only cost we are going to incur is one for security,
Hiyo peke yake.
which at the end of the day is going to be free because every university, when in fact in the periphery of every university, you'll always find a police station.
Yes.
You'll always find a police station.
Even
Most probably.
inside.
Even inside.
Kuna kwanga na askari wengi sana
Yes.
ndani.
These universities, whether private or public, they're under Ministry of Education,
Right.
which is a government-owned institution, in fact, whether private or public. But now, we are not going to talk about the cost because police are being paid by the national government.
Okay.
And their work is to maintain law and order. That being part of the law and order, it will be easy. And for the universities, the only cost it's going to incur is the cost of papers. There is nothing that's going to change. You only need maybe an extra ream of paper
Yes.
to publish several ballot papers now.
My next question.
Yes.
Police and comrades have never been friends.
True, very true.
Yeah. The only time comrades and police interact is when there's a strike.
True.
Wakati mwingine tunapatananga tu nje unless they are our relatives. How do you think that is going to pan out when X number of policemen have come into an institution with their guns and other kinds of ammunition, maybe some tear gas here and there, to ensure that there's a free and fair election, and then a certain section of the comrades decide hapana, hii kitu tulikuwa tumechagua Nyanduga
Yes.
na sasa tunaona Mbuvi ndio anapatiwa hii certificate. How do you think that is going to pan out?
It's going to be successful because things are changing in our institutions of learning. For the first time, I saw a police officer coming to JKUAT
Yes.
and sitting down with young people,
Yes.
making stories and doing everything. I think the first part is civic education. And in fact, this is the part we started with even before submitting the petition.
Yes.
We sat down with comrades and we told them that should the National Assembly amend these, then we must also prove them wrong. Prove them wrong in the sense that we must also prove them that we can also behave as young people.
Okay.
For the first time, we are going to have an election whereby young people will sit down, even with the security forces, with an intention of bringing out the good side of the people.
Yes.
The reason as to why there will be minimum chaos between the comrades and maybe the security enforcers is that we also vote per department.
Yes.
Every department has a single polling station.
Okay.
So if it's a department of architecture, you have one. If you come from that department, you'll be heading to that. The problem usually arises when we have a single polling station
Yes.
for the whole school. You find a school like a school of business and entrepreneurship with maybe 4 or 5 departments. So it means when you have one polling station per school, then there are increased number of students in that whole voting. But when you reduce it to one polling station per department, as currently being conducted by majority of these universities,
Yes.
then you find one student at a time, only a few students at a time. And then there is a rule. Once you vote, enda nyumbani. So at the end of the
Enda
day,
nyumbani ama enda kwa hostel.
it's either if you stay inside and a hostel.
Okay.
Kama ni we ni wa nje,
Eh.
because you have no business
On that
around
day.
around the hall, in fact,
Okay.
around the polling stations.
All right.
So I believe there is
Who
going to
counts
be
the votes?
Akunaka ku protect vote as you answer that one.
yes, I'm going to answer it. Uko hakuna ku protect the vote because if you are a candidate, you also have an agent
Okay.
who is also there. It's just like the national government.
I get
So
you.
ukishindwa, your agent was there na ameona it is true, ameshindwa. And you have agent per department as you move to the national tallying center.
Haya, GBA City.
Who
count the-
tallies the vote?
Yeah, it's a very nice thing. It's students who count the vote and tally the votes. And it happens in this way. Before election, there is always an application to work with the Electoral Commission. So you apply, they vet you, and one of the basic requirements is that you must be somebody whose competent values are known. You must never have, you must never be somebody whose character is of blemish. So at the end of the day, after the selection committee has done their work, they'll present your names to the university council. After that, after vetting, on the election day, a student who will do everything with the close supervision
Okay.
from the administration.
All right.
So mkishapiga kura, your agent will be there, my agent will be there. They'll be counting vote one by one in the presence of a university representative from the administration and the representative of the students.
There's a comment here and I absolutely love it. Number one, first of all, actually there are two. Let me just read the first one.
Yes.
Which has got everything to do with the first conversation we had. Nyaga Junior anasema nikiwa JKUAT ugali and skuma was 5 bob. Actually it's very true. Hata mimi nikiwa KU ugali na skuma ilikuanga 5 bob alafu unaekewa kisupu hapo. Unaenda ukifanya hivi. Victor Lesasuyana amesema hivi. To reduce violence in our universities during elections, we should employ digital systems to remove suspicion of rigging. We have had this conversation by the on matters to do with digital voting. Several politicians actually have even suggested it. Universities have got students who study computer science, IT, and other digital related whatever courses. Why hasn't anyone come up with a system that can actually say that, guys, let's model this for our university? And you can't tell me because the JKUAT huko si kuna mahackers wali hackingi bank fulani mahali na wakeba pesa mingi sana. So we have hackers in the universities. That's what I'm driving at here. Why haven't we thought of such a thing, man?
You see, if you need problem in our learning institutions, then try digital voting,
such that voting. See, I'm a registered student of JKUAT and I'm in the system. So on the voting day I just vote.
The problem is
in seconds we are done.
The problem will arise in this way. If we employ online voting, as a student, your details, let me say, they are popular. Because from first year we've been filling form, you are filling your student ID, you are filling your student email address, your phone number and everything. In other words, somebody can create account on your behalf. And that's the problem. So when you employ the online voting system, in fact, if the election was to start at 8 in the morning, wewe before uamke, somebody mukuru kwa njenga asha kuvotia. So by the time you'll be looking, and just as you have said, in our learning institutions, especially in JKUAT, where our technology at least is far much better than, let me say, almost all universities in the land. There have been several problems to do with hacking. So it's a problem because we can employ it, but it will lead to more problems than even the advantages. Mnaeza vote hivi kidogo kidogo, the system is down, somebody asha hack.
Mtata nilikuwa na hapa on Monday usiku na alisema hivi. We can actually do digital voting whereby I physically come to the polling station. In this case to the university polling station. Sindio? And I just put my fingerprint there and my details appear. Right? So I choose my preferred candidates for whatever positions that exist. But I'm physically there. Then when I'm done voting, the system removes me because it knows Paul Mungala Mbuvi, registration number, this one, amefanya voting yake, ametoka kwa system. So we are not voting from our hostels. I'm not voting from Mukuru kwa Njenga. I am actually coming physically to the polling station, put my fingerprint, do my voting, and the moment I'm done voting, I am removed from the system. I get a receipt of sorts that has got a serial number, such that I can go back and input that serial number into the system. If I can log into the IBC of the university and just confirm that indeed I voted for Nyanduga as my president, CT as my department, whatever, and this one, this position, and these positions. I think that's actually something that you guys can come up with.
It's good when we go that direction, especially now of having a serial number, you presenting yourself physically. But now the problem is, for our learning institutions, the process of generating serial number, registering your biometric data and everything is going to be quite expensive and costly, because we must just say the truth. To do this, you first need civic engagement with the people. You train those who are going to train them first, trainers of trainees. At the end of the day, you'll have, in fact, you must acquire some of the digital tools and devices. So at the end of the day, with the debt burden in our various institutions of higher learning and everything, if we go that direction again, it's going to be expensive. So I think we can just uphold the foundation of democracy using what we have. And what we have and what we can afford currently, even under popular voting system, is just through ballot boxes, because it's all about photocopying and doing everything. Then we just sit down, you have your agent and everything, and just cross. Or maybe you can have maybe a digital gadget, as you said. After voting, they'll indicate there and remove you as somebody who has already voted. However, when we got that very, very digitalized system, it's going to be expensive. from civic engagement to even the voting system.
Okay.
So it's quite expensive.
Moses, do you have any idea how a biometric system works?
Partly.
Okay.
Partly.
In that particular system, what about it is expensive? What is it that is expensive in that system?
You see, when we give it the approach of election now,
yes,
you need not one device. You need several devices. Because we cannot say we only have one polling station for 44,000 JKUAT students. So if you have per department, JKUAT has 18 schools. Each and every school has a minimum of 2 departments. Some even have 4. So all these departments, if you go biometric way and everything, the first part, City, is that you cannot conduct a biometric calculation and everything without first training this person who is going to, in fact, conduct it on others. And number 2, you as an individual, hata kuweka hiyo mkono kwa watu wengine ni shida. Lazima kuje,
ni shida.
And if you think, nimewahi kuwa mahali, you find a situation, hata somebody, and by the way, I took it normal, hata kwa nini lift, hajui kufinya. Tatoke at a ground floor akienda mahali. So we cannot assume everything.
Yeah.
So you must tell them, chukua mkono weka hivi. And what about this and this?
Yes, ni sawa because hata kwa polling station kawaida when we go there and we put our fingers on the biometrics, we have our grandmothers, our grandfathers, and even some parents who, to be honest, illiterate, hawaelewi. So even the officers within the polling station atamwambia mama weka kidole hapa.
And even students coming especially from extremely rural environment with few development stages. You find a student, that's the first time.
Lakini nyanduga watu wamekuja kusoma. Si wataelewa bwana. na tusisahau kuna kuanga na orientation kwa universities.
Yes, true.
For first year ukiingia kuna kuanga na orientation. Some of these things you can even be taught during orientation, like you've said anyway.
Yes.
Civic education.
True.
Yeah. I will agree with you, maybe acquiring the gadgets might be and I'm using here the word might because I am not sure.
True.
It might be expensive, but I am certain amwezi kosa mtu mwenye atawapatia na kabe. Alafu the software itself, you guys, you have the brains.
Even students can just develop as their projects.
Munaweza tengeneza na inakuwa
yes, true.
You know, the biometrics, the whole process is referred to as though it's something magical. It isn't. It's technical. And it's also not difficult to understand if I can understand it.
True.
And I can say this thing is not difficult to understand. And it's also not difficult to operate.
True.
But what it does for you, it gives you a lot of information at your fingertips.
True.
Yeah.
It enables you to be able to do very many things, depending on what it is that you feed into it as your software. Depending on it, what you have taught it to do. Storytelling, it can do all those things for you. If you have a centralized tallying center, it can send all this information. Meaning, the beauty of it will be that a lot is easily verifiable.
True.
Okay? And the element of fiddling now is reduced to the barest of minimums. Okay? Because there is, how do you duplicate a thumbprint?
It's difficult. It's difficult.
Very difficult.
It is very, very difficult. Sometimes technology in a campus such as the one you work in, not only is it the way to go, but it is how the university joins the ranks of those who are innovating and those who are entrepreneurial.
True.
You are a predominantly technical university. It is a university like JKU that comes the system that even the IEBC can use. We keep giving examples of India. The system, they're the ones who created their system.
Yes.
We can create it. And you can pilot it with your own student elections.
True.
If it works the student elections of 44, nothing stopping you from taking it to a much larger population and saying, okay, it has worked at JKU at. Can we try all the 35 public universities and see how this one works?
And if it works there, guess what? You guys are going to be the MPs in parliament at one point. Look, I was in JKUAT, I was in KU, I was in University of Nairobi, and we did it and it worked.
Yes. This system, ambayo inatusumbua hapa election, we are the ones who came up with this particular system, which now actually works and we can take
I believe with time it shall work. But currently as constituted, There is also something Mbuvi and City,
right.
Especially you guys working in the media should also highlight and at least be part of the civic engagement moving forward. There is this euphoria and belief in this country that election is only fair when you win. It's a very total problem.
Or unfair when you lose.
Yeah, and very unfair once you lose it.
Yes.
So, you see, our learning institutions has a lot of problem. And the reason as to why we are pushing even this petition further, apart from killing student activism, it has also led to tribalism, other factors, and corruption as the biggest scandal in this country. Think of a situation, a university with more than 50,000 students. A decision is being made by 33 delegates, leaving majority of the students disenfranchised and unaware of the whole process. And at the same time, the 20 delegates who are going to choose the school president or even the secretary general never chose the president on the basis of merit, but on the basis of handout. When you move to our learning institution, election has changed. You see, once you have 44,000 electorate, the only thing I need to go is to go and show them my record.
Right.
That for the first time, for the time I've been here, I've been championing for you guys in one or this way. And actually provide for them an evidence. But a situation whereby you give hands to 33 delegates to choose student representative, what you are doing simply is to encouraging corruption in the end. You find a situation whereby 2 days before election, 2 days to election, the only thing student leaders were contesting, they actually do is just to bribe the delegates at the end of the day. Nita moja 1,000 per student, per delegate. And actually on the election day, some of them even go overboard to an extent of issuing or giving this delegate even 3,000 or to 5,000 shillings. Amekupatia 5,000, then nakwambia, go and vote for me. And somebody will ask, why is it that as a student, you're spending 5,000 to be a student leader? This position at times can be lucrative.
How?
If you are not in support of the student affairs. It's lucrative in this way.
If you're in bed with the admin.
If you are in bed with the both school administration and the national government.
Explain.
If a student, for example, has been killed along Thika Road. Or abducted, we expect universities along Thika Road to protest. To prevent that, once you are in bed with the national government and the school administration, utapewa kitu kidogo. Atiambia watu wasiende maandamano.
How kidogo is this kidogo?
You can even be given 100,000 just to stop student riot. At the end of the day, we've had these changes and problems to do with the lecturer strike, like last year. And you can confirm even online, City. When lecturers were on strike for 7 weeks, it's only me and a few of us who used to move from one media to another, even to sit at the dialogue table, to question the government. It is now enough. Why can't you just give the... And in fact, we were even appealing to them that you can work on a 50-50 deal, whereby you give them a half, then after maybe 2 months, you'll add them half. Majority of these student leaders walinyamaza tu. In 2024, Denzel was killed, a student at JKUAT, and you know that. And we were supposed to go on a strike. Tulijaribu. By then, I was not even anywhere close to the student politics. I was a second year at that time. At that time, after Gen Z, even a student here was abducted and killed, a student of University of Nairobi. But the fact that we have students, leaders who are very weak, at the end of the day, we were not in a position to do anything. Think of a situation, a student leader who has been elected by 20 delegates, representing 40,000. You don't have a voice. In fact, you are very unpopular. But a student leader who has been elected by 30,000 students, this is somebody who is meritorious to be a leader, who can stand and defend their right. So once you are in bed, akisema ni hivyo, if left is left. But you see, the reason as to why, in fact, they are easily swayed to go to bed with the national government is that even for them, they know very well. They're unpopular within the learning institution. Because inafika mahali, some of the universities even have less than 10 delegates. So think of a situation, you are a student leader who has been elected by 6 delegates. Hata we unajua hii nakula tu, but in fact I'm skating on a melting ice. It won't last. So hii time yangu yenye niko nayo maybe 8 months ama 1 year, acha nikule na watu wa nje. But if you are truly fighting and questioning things rightly, then that student leadership position might not take you anywhere serious. The reason being, we understand the history of student activism in this country. You can be arrested, you can be killed. That is why the moment I made a decision to be questioning this, I was ready for anything. We were ready because we know there is an extent we know how this country works. You can either be used as sacrificial lamb, and you must also be ready for that. But the question is, are you going to betray millions or maybe hundreds of thousands of students of a higher learning institution just to benefit yourself? Because if you go to this institution, you are going to find a student maybe alilala njaa jana usiku, na ikifika leo I cannot come here to the media and say the new funding model is working. HELB imepewa wanafunzi vizuri. If there is a student anacha shule kwa sababu ya HELB issues ya new funding model, I must come and say it clearly, because if I don't defend them, then whom do you expect to defend the very, very same students? So at times I think we must also be real. Apart from just being paraded to sing tuta or baby to go in bed with the administration, as an individual you must question this. And the primary reason as to why the members of parliament in fact passed the petition in 2016 was not all about chaos. It was to suppress student activism. Leaders fear somebody who can stand and question the wrongdoings of the national government and maybe of our leaders. And that's actually the reason as to why. So we cannot come here and pretend it was all about chaos, it was all about this. It is high time our learning institution to be shaped. You find a university, unasikia even corruption amounting to billions in our universities of learning. Some of them you find a learning institution with a debt of more than 5 billion. You must ask yourself.
Moi University walisema yao jana ni 10 billion.
Ilifikaje hapo?
Yeah, that's the question. Ilifika because if we had
counties usually get what? 3 billion, 4 billion.
Yeah, so if you are a student leader, or should we have strong leadership in our learning institution? The moment administration imesema our debt is 10 billion, you must sit down with your committee and talk with the student and administration to explain. If the government has failed to send their share to the administration, they should tell you. Na ikifika hapo, we find some of the, like Moi University, and why we need strong leadership in our learning institution. Who said that if a university is in central Kenya, then Mkikuyu must be the vice chancellor? Who said if a university is in Nyanza, then Mjaluo must be a vice chancellor? We need to have leaders of universities with competent qualities and values. This political consignment and political bodies whereby you find if you are so close to deputy president that you are going to be appointed as the vice chancellor, we want to eradicate those nonsense. We need, if you go to the United States, and sometimes as much as I don't believe in their democracy, I believe on it partly. You'll go even to Harvard, even UCT. If you're a professor today, apply as a vice chancellor of Harvard. If you're meritorious enough, they'll just give you. Because they're all about the result-oriented society. They're all about, at the end of the day, what can city do to make Harvard great again?
Moses, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I have heard people say that politicians in various parties in this country tend to influence university elections.
True.
How true is this?
It's 90% true. It's 90% true because influence come in several ways. We have economic, financial influence, which is the major.
So hiyo ndio mambo yote.
You find a situation whereby if you want to be the president of, let me say, JKUAT, KU, or University of Nairobi, if you just go to a politician and tell him, tayari niko na ground, and you can provide an evidence that you have ground, majority of students are supporting you, or majority of the delegates, they literally support you, especially if they have ambition to contest for public office. Because they'll say, if JKUAT has 44,000 students, I want to be the MP of Juja. Let me fund Nyanduga Moses so that if he becomes the secretary or president of JKUAT, then mimi nikitaka kura huko nitamtumia kuassess young people around Juja and Mombasa University student.
Ama nikitaka tu crowds.
Ama nikitaka tu crowd kidogo nda call 1,000 students washakuja. Niwapatie handout, then I address them. And the problem with this influence is one. You find a situation whereby we've had several instances of drug abuse in our institution of higher learning and everything. You know, you cannot be little-minded to an extent you dismiss a rumor. A rumor may be having some of the facts in it. We've had a situation whereby some of the learning institution, unasikia kuna mwanasiasa anatumia wengine kuuza bangi and everything. They know very well if they use you, if they give you money to win an election, at the end of the day they also expect your corporation back.
So that is a ready market.
A ready market. Nikifanya hivi ni hivi, if I need a crowd, maybe if I do this and do this. So there is a major influence by the political, especially these young politicians who have been elected into office, who are around 10 years in existence in the political space, and who have even further ambitions to expand their leadership criteria and ideology. Yes.
You know, one of the things that is particularly interesting about our universities is that over time, what one has seen is that they behave like failed parastatals. Not all parastatals have failed.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of opaqueness. One, in terms of the funding, how much they get, what they do with it. The Auditor General has raised in the manner that she works very many queries regarding our public universities.
Yes.
But how is it then, from a student leader's perspective, do you have a situation where literally every public university is complaining that they're going broke? How does it get to that?
You see, when universities are getting broke, I'll have to blame the national government majorly. I've been saying this for quite a long period of time now, that the first mistake the national government did was one, just to establish universities anyhow for political reasons. You'll go stand in Nyamira and say, nyinyi watu wa Nyamira nataka kuwaletea university. You'll go to Garissa. I think, should I be the Kenyan president today, what I'll do is this. I'll just disband some of the universities and say, this university can be a good national hospital. Let me just convert those lecture halls into wards and those students being transferred. How can it be that some of the universities have less than 3,000 students? What are they doing there? We have lecturers, students and workers serving less than 3,000. So the major problem is that we have excess number of universities. And I remember the last time we were here, our conversation was also rotating about universities being, you see, course-based, major course areas of learning. Where if you go to a university like University of Nairobi, even a villager will understand Nyanduga is either pursuing Bachelor of Laws, maybe Bachelor of Political Science and Philosophy, either law or any other thing.
Right.
But you find a situation whereby you move from Lecture Hall 1, you are a student of Medicine and Surgery, Lecture Hall 2 is comprises students of Psychology, Lecture Hall 3, Music students. Why is this mix up? So I think we should have, you see, by the way,
unajua kuna watu wa music wanakusikiza sasa wanasema jamaa wanatudharau.
What happens is this, if we want to save our learning institution, let us reduce the number of our universities first. So that if you have a budget of maybe 20 billion going to our universities, if we divide even across 10 serious public institutions, like JKUAT, we can have, JKUAT can be an institution of engineering, technology and agriculture.
Right.
That's all. University of Nairobi, law, education and maybe political science. That's all. KU, education and maybe nothing. Evo too. Number two, I also blame the government on the issue of problems with funding in our institutions, in the sense that they've also been delaying when it comes to issuing capital to the institutions of higher learning.
Yes.
The other time, even currently, you find a situation where going to sit for an exam, anaambiwa your household fee yenye parent anafaa kulipa under the new funding model, yes, you have paid, but the government has not paid their share.
Okay.
So when you collect all these shares from one student to another and everything, kunaanza kuwa na gharama. Our learning institution inaanza kuwa na shida. And remember, this is the same amount our learning institution is using even to pay the workers and part-time lecturers.
Okay.
So there's a problem. And lastly, our institutions have been working on research. And when you have a look at majority of this research, I think Auditor General is supposed to do something. Unaenda tu naangalia greenhouse, imeandikwa hapo, hii ilikuwa 100 million research inafanywa hapo, maybe to do with the biotechnology in tissue culture, bananas. 100 million inside a very old greenhouse with poor management techniques. It's a failed project. Na ni 100 million. Then napata hapo imeandikwa it's between a partnership of university these and the European Union or USAID.
Okay.
So some of our learning institutions, I believe corruption is also prevailing. And how is it happening in our institutions of our learning, corruption? It brings us back. It takes us back to what I said. There is a political influence when it comes to management of these institutions of higher learning. Iti mimi nikiwa karibu na rise, and because pia mimi natoka Uasin Gishu, I must be the vice chancellor of Moi. Who said that?
Moses, do our universities actually conduct any meaningful research?
Some of them.
Like which one?
Like JKUAT. If things to go by, even the M-Pesa today we are enjoying was a product of JKUAT.
No, but on a serious note, we know you love JKUAT because
Yes.
that is your institution.
Yeah.
If we are being honest,
Yes.
even that JKUAT, do you
Yes.
think the standards of research are what should be of a public institution of research? Because universities are basically research institutions.
Not really. I believe it's below the par. It's below the par because what I expect a learning institution to do, I think the kind of research we are working on should directly impact the society and have a maximum economic output.
Okay.
That is my explanation and maybe my understanding of that kind of research. But a research yenye inafanywa which is going to die in the process, or maybe at the end of the day we'll never have economic viability,
Yes.
is not quite important.
For example,
Yeah.
As we finish, JKUAT, KU, UON, all have got people who are studying masters and PhDs.
Yes.
And they are in the thousands.
Yes.
How comes, and we were just talking about one academic year.
Yes.
Now let's multiply that by even the last 10 academic years.
Yeah.
How comes of all those researches that have been done by the master students and PhD students, how comes none of them, well, maybe one or two, to be honest.
Which one? If you say one or two, you have to name them.
Acha nichukue ya huyu jamaa M-Pesa.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
on a serious note,
Yes.
of all those thousands of research that are being done in these universities,
Yes.
how comes hakuna moja inatokezea inasema manze this is revolutionary?
It's because of the following reasons. Number one, majority of the learning institution are also suppressing students in a way.
Okay.
You see, that is why I said majority of the problems we have are by design. If you are a lecturer and there is a student, akona a good research, even in our universities we have a lot of gatekeeping and barriers, by the way. If you are a master student today, Mbovi,
Yes.
you have developed a serious robotic, maybe
Yes.
a serious robotic project, hata lecturer wako atakuwa na shida na wewe. You know why? You see, according to me, my translation should be, if I'm a teacher, my student should be better than me.
Yes.
But a situation whereby you are the lecturer, a
The
student has a good medical
outsmarts
result,
the master.
akaleta kakupea.
Moses, what I want you to do
Yes.
is go and do your research again
Yes.
and find out who actually made it possible for M-Pesa to be M-Pesa. Yes, I know your university takes credit for it, but just so that we can look at this thing gently, go and do a little bit of your research. We know that it was implemented in Kenya, and we like taking credit for it. We do, and nobody challenges us when we take the credit.
We also
for
take
it.
credit for Obama, but continue.
Yes.
Yes.
So anyway, that's a discussion that we
Yes,
can have.
and now we are
Yeah.
talking about your lecturer. If you write a very well decent project, some of them by the, in fact, instead of encouraging you, they'll discourage you. Hii achana nayo, itahitaji vitu nyingi, we don't have enough money to do the. I think learning institutions under our research and extension departments, we should at least also appreciate sometimes our students.
Okay.
You see, our learning institutions has a lot of partnership and cooperation.
They do.
So you find a situation whereby if you have a project, they should also link you with a viable partner who can ensure that your project comes to life. And as I conclude Movie and City,
Right.
on the issue of amendment of Section 18B, we have tried enough. And I believe every generation must well define their core value, core competence, and maybe line of struggle. There was a generation that was fighting for economic independence, political independence. 1963 they achieved. After that, for 20 years we had a problem with multi-party democracy and everything. They achieved in 1992 elections. We came after that, Moi Kanu era now, 2002 they achieved. And even the constitution 2010. My generation must as well define clearly what we call the drum major instinct, as just Martin Luther King said. You as an individual, you must have your life's blueprint. What can you die for? And my generation, we have several challenges, yes. Going to the street is not the solution, but sitting down and having a solution. As I conclude, in the process to table this and to struggle so that our institutions of higher learning can have popular vote back, I'm also appealing to Kenyans who can join us as the legal team. We are working on it. We want to petition the same to the High Court of Kenya so that work on it. You can join us and we work together.
How can they reach you?
My number is 0745 23 54 55. I'll repeat, 07 45 23 54 55. My name is Moses. So just reach me, then we sit down, we see how things can work.
All right. Moses, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I wish you all the best. I'll be rooting for you. Because
Yes.
hata mimi nakumbuka tulikuwa tuna vote hiyo universal. Hii ingine mumeanza kuleta delegate hata sielewi.
Yes.
It was fun that way.
Yeah.
Tunazunguka campus zote.
Campaign.
Nilikuwa naenda huko najipa. Anyway, it was fun times.
Yes.
Do stand by. We're getting into the news right now. Then when we return, of course, I'll give you some of your salams. Lazima niwasalimie, niweze kuwajulia hali. But right now, though, it is time for the news. And in the next hour, we'll be talking politics bado. So msiende mbali na sisi. Hiyo news wacha nitafute. Ndio hii. Msiende mbali, we shall be back in a few minutes.
This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. The Keroka Magistrates Court has temporarily barred activist Morara Kebaso from making or publishing statements about Burabo Member of Parliament Patrick Osero. The orders were issued pending the hearing of a defamation case filed by the legislator. In a ruling delivered on Thursday, Senior Resident Magistrate Ismail Stanley granted temporary orders restricting Kebaso from making public remarks about Osero. Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro has criticized the increasing use of gangs to disrupt political meetings and intimidate members of the public. Speaking at Ihura Stadium in Murang'a Town during the distribution of bursaries to students, Nyoro said it is wrong for criminal groups to invade public gatherings, including churches, while security agencies fail to act decisively.
Kila siku tunaangalia runinga, tunaona siku hizi wahuni wanaenda mpaka kanisani kama vile tuliona All Saints. Kama askari wako hapo wamepewa orders na wakubwa wao waachane na hao wahuni. Nchi ambayo ilikuwa inapeleka askari kule Haiti kupigana na uhalifu kama hii na gunnism, ndio tu serikali yenyewe inafanya kazi kama gunnism. It is a very big shame. Na ni vizuri wajue, for any country to thrive, peace is very important.
Kiambu Governor Kimani Wamatangi has rejected calls to separate Kiambu County from Mount Kenya region or split it into two counties. Speaking in Thika during a meeting with border riders, Wamatangi described the proposals as divisive and politically driven. He accused leaders behind the push for failing to deliver development projects and turning to divisive politics instead.
Hapa ndani ya hii Thika nao wachoraji wanajifanya kituma, huyu useme Kiambu East, unasema Kiambu East, wanaenda kupiga picha barabara huko mahali zimejengwa Nairobi, atikuweka hii ni Kiambu East na hii Kiambu West. Kuja tuoneshe yako wewe mwenyewe ile umejenga. Kuja hesabu madarasa kama hiyo Wamatangi ana hesabu ya watoto ndani ya county mzima, na hakuna darasa imeandikwa East ama West ama wapi. Darasa yote imeandikwa Kiambu County.
The Kenya Railways Corporation has started construction of the 264-kilometer standard gauge railway line along the Northern Corridor. Kenya Railways Managing Director Philip Mainga said compensation processes for affected residents are ongoing, while the National Land Commission, already gazetting some beneficiaries. Players in the transport sector have welcomed the project, saying the new railway line will improve and complement existing transport systems.
What we are seeking from the owners of land is for them to be gracious enough, once National Land Commission completes their work, please agree with us so that we are able to take over that land so that we can construct. We do not want to delay the contractor at all.
A railway city that will remind us of the historical role of railways in East African development. And now we have a railway city here that will even improve connections with the neighboring countries like Uganda.
A bomb blast at a crowded cafe in central Damascus has killed at least 6 people and injured 22 others, Syrian state media say. The Interior Ministry said an explosive device was planted inside the cafe, which is located only 100 meters from the Palace of Justice, a major government building in the capital's Hejaz district. There was no immediate claim from any group for the attack. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga.
Sports on Radio Generation.
Good morning, I'm Samuel Otieno. Portugal are through to the last 16 after coming from behind to beat Croatia in a dramatic World Cup knockout match. Cristiano Ronaldo scored his first ever goal in a World Cup knockout stage. Before substitute Gonçalo Ramos netted a late winner in stoppage time. Croatia thought they had forced extra time with a late equalizer, but the goal was ruled out for offside after a VAR review. Meanwhile, Spain have reached the last 16 of the Men's World Cup after a comfortable 3-0 win over Austria in Los Angeles. Mikel Oyarzabal opened the scoring in the first half before Pedro Porro added a second after the break. Oyarzabal then sealed the victory with his 4th goal of the tournament, as Spain recorded their first World Cup knockout win in 16 years. They will now face Portugal in the round of 16th on Monday, July 6th. And that's your sports update on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Samuel Otieno.
Sports on Radio Generation. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio.
I've never seen anything like this.
But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast. Curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey.
You got it locked.
Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights. Radio Generation.
A very good morning to you and welcome back to Radio Generation. The time right now is 13 minutes past 8 o'clock. How are you doing? Watu ntasalimia pa haraka haraka nikipita juju. From the morning we've had Louis Rudasingwa, Stephen Maina, William Musita saying morning Patriots, Team Portugal. Yes, it's a Friday. What a way to start indeed. Orash Boni amesema gentlemen CDCT na Mangala Mbuvi fellow Kenyans wacha katambe. Indeed, Douglas Kibogong, how are you? Milimo 24BT, Danson Kenywa, Daniel Shuru, kuna Kipkorir Ngulat, Nyaga Junior, Victor Lesesuyan, Mohamed Murunga kama kawaida, always valuable to have you on the show. My Tech 2.0, how are you doing sir? Alando, Nazlin Lesesuyan as well. Nazlin is saying, ati M-Pesa inaweza kwa ilitoka South Africa City. Ilitoka South Africa, eh?
Let's start with Vodacom, the parent company,
yes.
Right? And the individual who headed the unit that came up with the idea,
yes,
that was eventually piloted in Kenya and eventually worked.
Right.
Yes, that's how. That actually is the process. We can discuss it another day because there are people who are behind it. You see, R&D is something that institutions like Vodacom have.
Yes.
And so you'll find people who actually
have huge departments for that.
Yes. The people who actually head those units and the people who, so M-Pesa started as, the idea was to create a fintech, to lend people money for businesses and what have you. Then the idea was morphed into, why don't we just make it something that people can use to send money? After all, it's their own money they're sending anyway.
And here we are.
And they tried it, and it was piloted in Kenya, and that thing caught on. It caught on like a
nobody's
bushfire.
Business.
Exactly, and it has continued. Yes.
All right. It is now 15 minutes past 8 and we want to talk about strengthening party structures ahead of 2027. And who else is, well positioned to speak about this other than a party? We do have with us the Jubilee Deputy Party Leader and also Kajiado senatorial aspirant, Joseph Manje. Mheshimiwa, a very good morning to you. Welcome back to Radio Generation. Always good to see you and to have you here.
Morning to you.
Bobby and City and listeners of Radio Generation. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for calling me once again.
Yes.
To discuss about our party Jubilee and our country Kenya.
Inakaa Jubilee inaendelea vizuri because every time I see you, it's like you're getting younger and younger. Ni nini mnafanya huko Jubilee? Ni maji gani hiyo mnakunywa?
Tuseme Jubilee, we are happy that we have a good party. We have a national party that has been there for quite a long time. We have ruled this country 10 years out of the 60 years of Kenya independence. And we have a good party leader, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and we have a very good presidential candidate, Fred Matiang'i, who is a Mr. Fix-It. So we are happy. What we are doing currently is to make structures on the ground to make sure that we are set again to power.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, now that you've mentioned Matiang'i, I remember Honorable Kioni did say that this guy is a no-nonsense guy, and now you've added another adjective, he's Mr. Fix-It.
Yes.
What exactly will Matiang'i do as far as fixing the nation is concerned?
You see, when Matiang'i was in education, he did something good. We saw exactly what he did. Anybody who got an A, it used to be called Matiang'i A, because it was a really Matiang'i A.
When he was a CS for education?
When he was CS education. Remember, he went to that sector when it was in mess. It was a messed up sector. When he went there, he restructured. He made sure that the examinations are done without any cheating. And you remember the time he introduced containers to make sure that examination papers are kept in the containers and they are given correctly the following day. Before he went there, examinations were rigged to the media. You would see a circulating paper that will be done the following day.
Right.
But when he went there, he instilled discipline in education as far as examination were concerned.
Yes.
And we did, students did very good examination. And that is why the Gen Zs were calling him to come back from World Bank and rule this country.
Yeah.
So they have that expectation.
Yes.
And also he's a no-nonsense person. When he says something, he stands by it. When he was in the Ministry of ICT, he's the one who migrated Kenya from analog to digital.
Right.
So this explosion of media, I think, is instrumental. So we are expecting him to fix this country. And he's ready to do it, by the way.
Now, unajua mimi nakumbuka watu wakisemanga kulikuwa na leakage wakati wangu. Mimi nilifanya nilifanya KCSE in 2004. Nakumbuka watu wakisema kulikuwa na leakage. Mimi sikuona leakage. Nilikuwa nashangaa tu naona leakage ikiwa wapi. But anyway, hiyo ni wakati huo. When we come back to this whole issue of Jubilee Party and this contesting of Ol-Kalou parliamentary by-election, I've been telling some of our guests here that we've had a conversation on this particular issue that naona ni kama Jubilee mko serious na ikiti ya Ol-Kalou. Mko serious nayo kweli?
Tuseme tuko serious. Let me say the first thing that we wanted as an alternative government. You remember we seconded Matiang'i to the alternative government to be discussing. The stand of the Jubilee Party from the word go was that we wanted to have a joint primaries with other alternative government parties. Then we have a common approach to it. But some parties went ahead and fielded their candidate without considering the other alternative party, like Jubilee and the others. So after that, we also said this is a political party. We have a political party and we have to have candidates in the whole country. Remember, we have been telling people that we will feed candidates in all elective positions in this country, from president to MCA throughout the country. But when it comes to the presidential, we thought it is good for the presidential candidate from other parties to come together to form a strong opposition to oppose the current government. But when it comes to these other seats, I think we should do it individually. But for this one, Karao, because it is just a by-election, we wanted them to have that unity so that the candidates, the presidential candidates, can go and campaign together. Actually, I remember Matiang'i saying, I wish I can go there and we campaign, all of us campaign for one alternative government candidate. So that is why it is like that. But from now, for the next 2 weeks, we will put our muscles.
Yes.
And most likely we get that seat.
Because if I can use Mbeere North as an example, because that is one of the most prominent by-election we've had in the recent past.
Yes.
There was a lot of noise, and we knew all the candidates, and we could see every other day politicians were there, and especially even the big boys, if I may call them.
Yes.
We would see them there, including even the president campaigning for his own candidate there. And you could really see, these folks are actually serious about that particular seat.
Even this one, over the weekend I went there to Olkarau. Actually, I went there to Olkarau to see how it is. We visited, I think, 3 churches. We in a group, we separated ourselves. Then we had a big meeting, a rally of about 1,000 to 1,200. And we'll be on the ground from today. So next week, by the end of next week, you will see what Jubilee is capable of doing.
Tuone magari, tuone branding.
Tutakuja na vehicles.
Lately all we are seeing is just wind.
One advantage we have in Jubilee at Olkarau, we have a very good candidate also. He's called Engineer Kekwa. Actually, he's the only engineer in that thing. Compared now, if they wanted to elect somebody who is qualified, somebody who has credentials, somebody who have been on the ground doing electricity and all that, is an engineer, educated.
Yes.
If they will not vote emotionally, unfortunately that is what happens in this country. If they were to go and vote for the correct person, then Engineer Kekwa is the correct person to be voted for.
Okay.
What has he done in that constituency that makes him such a viable candidate?
He's an engineer. I think he mobilized through Kenya Power and made a lot of connection in his home area. And when I went there, I was checking. He has connected many houses as an individual, trying now to talk to the engineers and all that, using, I think, an NGO. So he has been active member of society, despite the fact that he was not elected. And also the other time, I think he tried to run, but he was not elected. He lost.
By what margin did he lose?
The other time, the margin, I think, was big, but currently he's up. He will pick it up.
What is it, if I were to ask you, said you were in Olkarau and you went to 3 meetings,
3 churches.
3 meetings in 3 churches. What do the people of Olkarau say is, or are the problems that they have that they would like the elected politician to help them resolve?
Just the normal ones. Employment, they would like more employment. They would want road infrastructure,
water,
the usual ones.
Health,
continuation of electrification. Just the development issues of a country. They want that. But also, you see, being election year.
Yes.
We are doing election next year.
Yeah.
You expect now the big shots to come in and try to put their muscles. Actually, one of the problems that we have in Olkarau is when we don't see the actual people we are electing, when we don't see the member of parliament, that would be the member of parliament for Olkarau, and we start seeing the competition between maybe the former deputy president and the president, and now Jubilee Party. Olkarau is a bit complicated because you see, Gachagua, the DCP leader, would like now DCP to have the first member of parliament.
Okay.
Jubilee, which has been there, owned the seat previously. This seat belonged to Jubilee. It was a Jubilee seat if there is an alternative government arrangement.
Okay.
Actually, it could have been in order if the alternative government aspirants would have come together and decided this seat belonged to Jubilee. Let us give them. Let them field their candidate. We support them.
Yes.
That was the correct arrangement.
Okay.
So here there is Gachagua who wants now to show his predominance in that area. There is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who is the party leader of Jubilee and whose party has lost a member. And now there is the UDA that wants now to to flex its muscles.
Right.
That's the scenario on the ground.
Okay.
This is going to be interesting, isn't it?
It is going to be interesting.
Because essentially it looks like the competition is not between those vying for the position of the Member of Parliament. It is about the the three leaders of three parties. Because it's a yes.
No, I'm laughing because you're right.
Yes, it looks like it's a competition between
President
Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto,
and
Rigathi Gachagua. That's what the competition seems to be.
But I want to make it clear, it is not competition between Uhuru. Uhuru is not even there.
He's the party leader.
He's the party leader, but he does not have now the correct picture. What he said, as a former president and somebody who is most of the time outside, make sure that at least you come with one candidate in the alternative government so that you can front one person. That is his message up to now.
Okay.
Unless otherwise. But as people now in the party feel that the party also needs to have some members of parliament on the ground.
Yes, you do.
So it is not about Uhuru. If Uhuru was to compete and he comes to the ground once, things will change.
Yeah. Speaking of Jubilee Party and structures ahead of 2027, there's some issues that some of your members have raised, such as Honorable Ngunjiri Wambogo. I think it was former Nyeri Town MP. Have those issues been resolved? Because there were questions around the party leadership. How some members rose up to the ranks to become whatever positions they hold there, and other things I'm forgetting right now. Have those ones been resolved?
It has been. Bogo Gujiri raised some issues, and I remember myself calling a meeting, as a committee meeting of the NEC, and we addressed the issues. The issues were he was sending letters to ORPP and Jubilee Party and the party leader,
right?
But the party was not responding. So our party leader decided, let me have a small subcommittee and sort that issue.
Right.
So I called him, and he came with about 4 lawyers.
Yes.
And we discussed all the issues that he had. I told him, any other issue that you want, the papers are here. I told the ED, the executive director of the party, to bring all the documents that Wabogu wanted.
Yes.
And he went through them, all of them. I asked him, do you have any other document that you need? He said he's satisfied.
Okay.
But later, again, I saw him going again now to the media, taking a different direction. But if he has a real genuine issue, we are still available. The party is there. It is his party. He's a registered member of the party. He can come to the headquarters and view any document that he requires.
Okay. There have been a lot of questions from the public as well. Opposition wakiuliza, is there really a plan as far as the alternative government is concerned? And I know that is one thing the president has been challenging the alternative government to provide in terms of what is your manifest, what is your game plan, what alternatives do you have to share, because opposition is always saying share doesn't work, so but what is the alternative? Education, mnasema CBC iko na issues, what is the alternative? Ikifika kwa mambo ya the Finance Act and the Finance Bill, you have an issue, what is the alternative? At least hapo kwa Finance Bill mulipatiana ingine yenye ya 4.3 billion trillion. But the question is, what is the way forward? And I think also Kenyans are asking the same question in unison. What is the plan?
The plan is very simple. You see, Jubilee has been there. We had a manifesto. We had a vision 2030 of this particular country. And we have people who are working for that vision. For example, we know Fred Matiang'i was there. And properly, Uhuru evaluated them, just the way you'll be evaluated by this media.
Yes.
And said, among my cabinet that was there, I can see Matiang'i is a person who can really fix this country. He was there implementing the manifesto of Jubilee for 10 years. And apart from that, we have joined hands with PNU.
Right.
You remember Uhuru Kibaki's
Party of National Unity.
Party of National Unity.
Yes, I remember.
We have come together, Jubilee and PNU. So we have the manifesto of PNU, of Kibaki, and now the manifesto of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. We want to combine them and refine and come up with a very good document. And when it comes, for example, like Shiv Shah and all that, we know we had NHIF that that was working.
Right.
When we go back to leadership, what we would like to make it more institutional, make sure that at least it operates as opposed to the current leadership. The problem with the current leadership is that our president wanted to do everything. He wanted to start new things, like SHA was a new thing. According to us, what he could have done is to check in this NHIF, what is that is not working? Why can't you rectify it? Because this is a Kenyan system that has been there. Rectify it instead of changing the whole thing. You can't change the whole country unless now you want to remove Kenya and bring another country to be called Kenya.
Yes.
So what happens in government, if you want to make a good government, you will put institutions.
Right.
Any other president come in, he improves the institution to some extent. Then he moves out and we get another president. We are going to strengthen institutions in this country.
Yeah. What about currently holding government to account as an opposition? Just ensuring that you're keeping them on their toes. It feels like the public is holding the government to account more than political parties, whether it's members of parliament who are already in parliament or even the alternative government in waiting, as I would put it. There is that question of the opposition is not as strong as it should be, even in parliament, opposing issues and so on and so forth. It's not been felt as it should.
Actually, that is the problem that we have.
Okay.
That is why you see our young people trying to do oversight. This is because of the cadre of the members of parliament that we got. Actually, many of us who were in the previous parliament, because I was in the previous parliament, the last two parliaments, where we had very mature people, very good debaters, and we had a very good president who did not interfere with us. If an issue was brought in parliament, you could articulate your issue, give your own side of the thing. Then when it comes to the committee, you will do that. But the kind of members of parliament you have currently are people who are pushed to a certain direction by the executive.
Right.
Vote this way and they move that direction. That is why now the young people have seen this country is not going to the correct direction. That is why they want now to offer an alternative opposition in the streets. Because what they are doing is not demonstration, but trying to oppose the current administration.
You said you were in the 12th and the 11th parliament.
Yes.
How did you deal with the executive when it came to them wanting to have their way?
You see, Uhuru was a very consultative president. He would call us and convince us on an issue. You articulate the issue, then if it is a common approach that we will take, it will be based on an argument. We want this and not that, and the reason behind it. We articulate it, we brainstorm on it until we come to a conclusion and say, as a party, we would go to this direction.
Yes.
And our thing was to try and make sure that the government is on track as far as Vision 2030 is concerned. Our oversight was to make sure that this government does not deviate from Vision 2030.
Yes.
But now we have totally deviated. We are implementing, I think, bottom-up approach in governorship.
And it's not in line with 2030?
It is not in line with the Vision 2030 of Mwai Kibaki. It was very clear that if we follow this path, we are going to create a middle-income country, and by so doing, we'll automatically create employment and other things.
There are political pundits who will argue that if we look at the Azimio manifesto that was championed by former Right Honorable Raila Odinga, the late Raila Odinga, and then we look at the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, folks are saying that it was very similar, even in terms of what was being suggested on this manifesto was more or less in a different language on this other manifesto. So when you say that they're not in line with the 2030 dream or vision, someone would also say that the Azimio one was not in line with the 2030 vision.
It was, because you see, we were trying to fix what is that. It is only that the current president does not believe in those institutions. He would like to implement his own thing. His problem is interfering with that vision. Interfering and trying to start new things and wanting to do things within a very short time. which is not possible in a country. You see, even in your home, when you are constructing, with maybe the fixed salary that maybe you get the income that you get from other sources, it can't be developed within 1 year.
Okay.
You cannot make your compound 1 year the way you want it, the whole of it.
Right.
It has to be gradual. It has to be a living thing. You have to make sure that this year you develop this sector, the next year beginning you do the perimeter wall, next year you paint, you do the roof again, and you do this, you do the landscaping and all that. The same thing happened to the country.
Yes.
This country is a big thing. It has to develop gradually. But if you want to do everything at once, you are going to burden Kenyans. And also they will not see the sense in it. By the way, you can be implementing something very good, but the way you do it, people will not appreciate.
On that, now that you've mentioned, taxes, because that's what you mean by, the resources that the country have. As far as taxes are concerned, how would the Jubilee government go about them? Because again, as we are told, what we collect, and even when we just go with the recurrent expenditure alone, we are told that the amounts are huge, and at one point, government will need to borrow. If it's either you borrow or you tax the people to poverty, how would the Jubilee government deal with taxes?
The first thing you do is you have to manage what you have. Actually, what we have is mismanagement. If you check the budget of the country, what is budgeted, for example, if Kenya is an agricultural based economy, but how much is it given towards that direction? They give very true towards agriculture, and they give a lot towards security and all that.
Okay.
What you are trying to do is many people become poor, and then you offer security. Try to make sure that even if they are poor, you make sure that they toe the line. Instead of doing the other way, make sure that you allocate more resources to manufacturing, more resources to agriculture-based thing. Put more resources towards where there is production.
Yes.
Another thing you have to know that the constitution, the devolved units are very expensive. If you consider the counties that we have in this country, and each county has a structure of government, it is like we have 47 governments, small governments.
Actually, we do.
We have them, by the way. And they are funded by the exchequer, to some extent. What we need to do as a country is to make sure that those counties are productive by themselves. That is an aspect that we have never seen. Look at the productivity of a county. Go to Lamu, ask yourself, we are in Lamu, what is the production of this county?
Yes.
How much are they producing? Why do you keep on developing that unit? Because you have to show it. Even in business, if you have branches everywhere,
yes,
you have to ask yourself as a businessman, what is the productivity of this branch? If you go to Lamu branch, is it productive? Or do we have the correct structure? So we should be asking ourselves, we have this county, how much is it bringing to the table?
Yeah.
And if it is just getting from the national government, then they have to get it through our terms. We have to tell them, as Kenyans, we are lending you this money. Make sure that you use it in the correct the correct way.
Yes.
For example, there is a time I think I went to Mandela somewhere, and then I found a governor making a high-rise office. I was asking him, I think I was in a public accounts committee of parliament.
Right.
In this area, land is very cheap. Why are you going upward vertically instead of horizontally?
Right.
Because it will take so many years to come that way. Why are you putting a high-rise office of the governor? Why can't you make sure that at least you go horizontally, or you buy another plot and construct? Because the cost of putting a slab is more than buying another piece of land and constructing. So those are the terms. If you want Kenyans to give you money, make sure that you use that money the right way. Don't take that money and come and purchase buildings in Nairobi.
When in the 2 terms that you were in Parliament under the Jubilee government, did the Jubilee government prioritize industrialization and agriculture in the budget?
Yes, they were going toward that direction, although not to a very good extent, because you see, the same planners who were there, the current planners who are there also, I think the planners who were there should have done more. We were trying to agitate and telling them this is the correct way. But you see also it is a very corrective thing. To convince a certain sector to change to take money to that sector is also a task by itself when you're a member of parliament.
The Kibaki government came up with the Vision 2030.
Yes.
Did they allocate
yes,
a sizable amount of money towards industrialization and agriculture?
There was a roadmap to that. It was very well stated, and that's why he was creating cities like Konza City. There is Tatu City. That is towards the direction of Vision 2030. And and you remember?
The reason why I asked the question is because I know they didn't. Having a roadmap and allocating money are two very different things. But what you are right about is you have a roadmap so that you are certain about what it is you want to do and how you're going to allocate the money. However, technopolicies like, say, Konza City, makes sense. I even understand what it should do. But are we a country that understood how it is that people grow into industrialization? I'm going to explain why I'm asking the question. We already have many industries and many investors in the so-called informal sector. Did we have a plan to bring these people out of that SME level or SSME to the next level, to a medium-sized industry, and then grow, so that we actually have a homegrown process by which we can understand how industries grow? Because if you have an industry that, say, produces sufurias, the Juakali industry produces sufurias, but there are big factories that deal in iron and then deal in such materials which produce them in even larger numbers. However, meeting the needs of the citizenry based on what it is they understand and what they are doing. Your argument about the county governments and them contributing to the national economy, I'm in full agreement with you. All our counties have people who are engaged in some form of business, and it's usually small-scale businesses. The plan to grow these businesses so that they actually become bigger and meet the needs of the citizenry. Now, do you know of any government that has, in this country, has actually had a system to grow that so-called informal economy into one that with time will become vibrant? I say this because some of the economies we keep admiring and talking about, like Korea, it's what they did. Yes.
China.
It's what they did, yes.
I think what they are supposed to do at the moment, because you see, if the government creates, the individual government creates environment for the young men, wherever they are, to do what you are talking about, I think we can go very far. Because you see, sometimes because of the structures that they have as a county on the ground, they have to make sure that at least they facilitate good environment by lowering the taxes, the cost of doing business, and making sure that the business that are coming up are uplifted. Like when you see the kind of economic empowerment that is being done in the country, is not self-sustaining, because you'll see the national government going to the county, mobilizing people, giving them money. That is not how to do business. The doing business is you have to go to the business plan of that particular group. The money you go and give as empowerment, make sure that you let them structure themselves first, the way Weather was being done. Let them come up in groups, let them start businesses, then empower that business.
Okay.
For example, what am I talking about? If there is a person who has started a car wash business, because that's what they normally referred, make sure that that particular entrepreneur, the one who is employing 4 or 5 young men, is properly facilitated. For example, you can give him maybe a government land on lease, a good environment, all right? Try to assist how you can expand this business using that small entrepreneur to expand his business. If he expands that business, it will employ maybe 10 instead of 5. That way, you are going now to achieve. But if you go to the field, you do a lot of campaign, then you give them 10,000 each, that money will just find itself into bars and other use, paying school fees, going to do it. Like the Ways of Fund, no, the Nyota Fund. Do you know when it was given to Kajiado Youth, where I was a member of parliament, I made sure that I made a follow-up to know how it was spent.
Okay.
Do you know when they were given that money, many of them...
How much was it, Mahesh?
They were supposed to get 25,000.
Okay.
It's actually meant to be 50. Yeah? It was meant to be 50, so 25 and then 25.
Do you know when they were given that money, that town was very vibrant at night. Many of these people spent that money. Within 1 week, that place a lot had some money in circulation, and that money went that. So if you were to do a feedback report of those young men who were given that money, you will not trace it. So the money will go back now to where it was. It belonged to the rich people.
But did the Ways of Fund do better?
Yes, the Ways of Fund did better. I remember
why did it do better?
Because of the monitoring and evaluation. What we used to do is we used to establish a well-established groups, women groups that are operational. They will give us our business, their business plan, how they have been doing. Then we do targeting. We go to them. We send officers to them. The youth officer would go to them and see the operation. If you have kept, for example, rabbits and you are doing that, then you get from Wezo like 100,000. We monitor it to make sure that you expand that business and you return the seed money.
Because it's a loan.
It's a loan. It is a loan. You know, at the end of the day, this group is doing, what we're just doing is to boost your business and you return the capital. It used to circulate. I remember that money used to circulate. I remember in my constituency, we are like position 9 nationally. And that money, we were able to grow that kit to a good. So if we continued with that approach, instead of the Hazara Fund, you see, and that's why I'm saying Ruto is somebody who changes what is found in the ground. And actually, remember, he was instrumental between him and Uhuru to create Ways of Fund. This is the money that was to be used in the repeat competition, presidential competition. When they did not repeat, they gave that as a seed money for Uwezo. So what he could have done is to make sure that he strengthens Uwezo because he was part and parcel. But what happened when he came to leadership? He introduced Hazara Fund, where he was given 500 and other things. So my advice to him, let him also respect the institutions that he was instrumental in making, in creating.
Was the Uwezo Fund for, who was it for? Which group of citizens was it for?
Especially the women, youth fund, youthful people, startups, people starting a company, group coming together. Actually, we were advising them, come up in a group of 5 or 10. Make sure that you are in a group. You make sure that you oversight the colleague. Make sure that you come with a group that you know how to.
I remember applying, by the way. Nearly apply Ways of Fund, me and a couple of my friends, but we abandoned the idea somewhere in between. Kila mtu alipata shughuli yake, mwingine alienda akapata.
Did you get the funding?
Mtu alienda akapata mimba huko. No, I'm saying we abandoned it in the middle of the organizing, because we came together, came up with a business idea. It was a laundromat. We came up with the business idea. We even, costed everything, and we knew, this is what we're going to present. But like I said, kila mtu hapa katikati alipata shughuli. You know what I find strange, whether it's Ways of Fund, Youth Fund, Women Fund, Nyota Fund, somehow, Hustler Fund, we seem to have deviated from structures that worked. We had an institution called the Kenya Industrial Estate. What they did was similar to what we're discussing, but they had a structure that guaranteed follow-up, that guaranteed even the process of scaling up. It was there. It's still there on paper, and I'm told a few things happened. But the thing that the government did, the government gave Kenya Industrial Estates land. Yes.
So you knew where they were situated. You could find them. So when funding was given, Kenya National Estate had officers who understood these things. You are guaranteed to be followed up.
Yeah.
If you did well and your business had grown beyond the levels that they themselves monitored, you then went to ICDC, who would give you even more money. Okay? We have sectors of this country that grew because of that particular structure. And this is the model that countries like South Korea followed. A structure that exists. It's government. But it makes sure that the investment into the group of people, the individuals, is not just given. It is something they walk you through. Even the process of writing the proposal, they would walk you through so you understand. You have an idea. This is how you do it. So let's start with this as you move along.
Yeah.
This idea of abandoning, as you put it correctly, it seems to be part of our culture. We have something which works. Other people have borrowed it and made it work tremendously well for them.
Yes.
Us, who had the idea in the first place, were still languishing, trying to figure out how do we do this thing. I look at all the monies that have been allocated towards these projects of empowering and growing. Believe me, we ought to have seen some very serious change in our economies right now. There's one governor who did something that, in my opinion, was the way to go with empowering people. It was Nderitu Mureithi when he was the governor of Laikipia. He engaged financial institutions, negotiated a lower interest rate, but ensured that his people would then be able to get money from the institutions. It's not him. Now, institutions have a structure which they can follow you up with.
Sure.
So the likelihood of success is actually higher. Because that's their job. That's what they do. Now, what I fail to understand is how it is that you have a system that's supposed to help people, but the structure that would guarantee its success isn't there.
That's the problem we have. Actually, when you give free money, nobody will respect. Actually, the first thing you do is to make sure that the person gets that money, has something in the mind to tell him this is rented money. This money you have to repay. If you don't have that feeling, then it becomes a gift and you will not respect it. And that's why we have institutions, loaning institutions. You know, to refund money is a bit clumsy. When you get a loan somewhere, you'll find that anytime you try to pay it, it becomes a bother. Now, if you find a way of skipping that loan, it will be very good for you. So if you make a mistake of now giving a grant in a country, like what we are doing, you know, when you give money, like Nyota Fund, if you give somebody money, this money at the end of the day, it will be repaid by Kenyans. Do you know what you have done? You have taken money out of pocket from somebody like you and me to give to another Kenyan. That is not the correct way of doing it.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, we collect taxes to make sure that good roads are made, good hospitals are made, good schools are made. But if we give you that money, then you give to individuals, what you are doing is you are failing in leadership, because that is not leadership. When it comes to giving that money in form of empowerment, make sure that at least you really empower them. But if you do it as a form of campaign, then you are doing disservice to this country. You are weakening even the business competition. Let those who can compete in business compete. Put resources where they belong. By the way, do you know you cannot empower a person by just giving money directly without first training the person and growing the person? If you get like 10 people, you give them money equally and you put it at the same environment, that money will just find its own way to the correct person. In whichever way. Even the money of this country, if it is corrected, if we are told all of us bring your money, if we put them into the same basket, that money will find its own way to the owners. That should be a theory that our president should know.
You know, it's interesting. There is a university in the US, I think it was Princeton University.
Yes.
We touched on it yesterday.
Yeah.
Who wanted to put this particular discussion and theory into practice to see how it works. all these empowerment programs where somebody's given 10,000, 20, they decided they're going to give 100,000, but they give it to a family. They don't tell you what to do with it.
They just give you.
They just give you, and they come back periodically to see what you've done with it. It was, it was amazing just how well the vast majority of the people who are given that money used it to actually improve their livelihood. But remember, it was given to a family.
To a family setup.
So it means there was a check and balance to it.
Yeah.
There are people who couldn't quite account for how that money was. But the vast majority actually utilized it in ways that their lives changed. The thinking behind it, I believe, was give them an amount that can actually be meaningful.
So they can actually see this is something that can change our
lives. 100,000 is not small money. Okay? Now, if money is given in a group, there's a check and balance. If the group already exists and is doing something, they have an idea of what to do because they're already doing it. So when you give them money, what you will have done is filled in the blanks where they had issues. How can we do this? You've given them the means to actually bring about the changes they have thought of. But they are the check and balances. It's why SACCOs work well, because you are guaranteed by people who know you.
Yes.
So the likelihood of default is reduced considerably. But when it is you directly and the person who's giving you the money, the check and balance and accountability, once it is lacking, the likelihood that that money will actually be used as it should is also reduced significantly.
Sure.
There's a comment here. This is Samson. Samson is saying, CT, the wise person on Yani KIE and ICDC ndio path, but it was put on ICU. Yeah. Things are that thick, my friend.
ICDC is called National Development Corporation now, I think. But Kenya has a less CITICO, but it's more or less, you just see the compound and what have you.
Yeah.
But you'd be amazed at the number of businesses in this country that grew as a result of that.
Yeah.
Yes. And in various sectors.
Okay.
Simply because you've heard of Uchumi.
I have heard of Uchumi.
Uchumi gave us the blueprint for all these mega supermarkets. Yes, it was a product of ICDC. Hako Industry, that later became later owned by Chris Kruby. ICDC. The transport company that we refer to as Kenatco, it was ICDC. The hotels that were under the Africa Tours and Hotels, that were all over the country, those were ICDC. Meaning, we didn't need to prove the concept. The concept had been proved.
Yes.
It was working. We knew what to do. It was a question of now upgrading the system and spreading it further. So that by the time we got county governments, we already had a system that had been tried, tested, and had been seen to work. So even as you have funds, you know exactly how to channel the funds, where to take them, and how to make it work.
Okay.
Yes.
Mahesh, as we come to a close, in terms of expansion, I see juzi mumeongeza Murara Kebaso. What's the expansion plan for Jubilee to bring it back to what it was? You know, that it had a national outlook. It was a very popular party nationally. What's the plan to bring it back to that glory?
What we are doing currently is to create physical offices. So far, I think we have opened like 12. We have 24, another 12 to do. Physical offices. Like on Tuesday, we were at Kirinyaga and we opened an office. The other time we were Nyandarua, Nyeri, Narok, Nyamira, Kisii. We have Nakuru. We have done so many offices. Next, this month actually on 22nd, we will be opening an office in Kajiado. So one of the management skill of Matiang'i, he would like to see Jubilee in the future, and that's why we are going permanent way, creating offices to create databases and all that, and reference point. Like now in those counties that I've mentioned, the branches, we have people operating.
Yes,
the aspirants are meeting the offices. If you want to do an office meeting, you call your people in those offices.
Okay.
From the branches, because we want to open offices in all counties, either physical or virtual offices.
Yes.
To make sure that at least one, we achieve the objective of the office of the Registrar of Political Parties, because it's mandatory that you have to have at least 24 offices nationally. That one we will achieve by the end of this year.
Okay.
Next month, we are having our National Delegate Conference. Now to endorse Matiang'i fully as the presidential candidate. All what is there today is a proposal. He wrote it to our NEC.
Yes.
That he wants to be a presidential candidate, but he has to be endorsed by National Delegate Conference.
Okay.
That we intend to do next month, according to our constitution.
Yes.
We are supposed to do it 1 year before election to appoint a presidential candidate.
Yes. So before August 10th, lazima mtuambie.
Before August next month.
Yes.
Before the end of August, we have to tell you officially we have Matiang'i as our candidate.
All right.
That is the constitution. According to our party constitution, we are supposed to create branches all over the county and sub-county offices in every constituency. Then at ward level and polling station level, we are supposed to have 5 officers in those areas. So far, we have done in 12 branches. There is a committee that I chair, and I had a meeting yesterday.
Yes. And
we were going through the offices that are through. And we have realized in 12 counties, we have officials up to there, branch to the grassroots. We have another 12 that needs adjustment here and there to make sure that there is response to the coming election. And also there is inclusivity, because what we normally say as a Jubilee, if you have 5 members of maybe a team, you have to make sure that you get people from different tribes.
Okay.
You have to make sure that at least you have a youth in that group, people even with disability, if possible.
Okay.
It has to have that Kenyan look, whatever it is.
All right.
So I was trying to go through those branches, and we have recommended those that require adjustment here and there. We have another, I think, 13 that requires immediate organization.
Okay.
People who migrated to other political parties. We have to make sure that we replace the officials. You see, the problem with Kenyan politics is that there is a lot of dynamics, a lot of movement from one party to another.
Nabado.
There is no that stability. I wish we know in our vision 2030 of this country, we have a political pillar.
Yes.
That states that unless we are politically stable in this country, we will never develop.
Yeah.
Because we have to have political institutions. Many countries develop because of the political decisions.
Yes.
So we have to have institutions that are making correct decisions.
Very true.
And you can only get correct leaders if you have very good institutions that are putting the leadership. So that is why we have to make sure that at least in politics, we have good politics in this country. I just believe and hope our president understands that we have to have stable political parties for him to rule this country to the correct generation.
Okay.
I wish he does not, he would fund, according to the constitution. You know, we have a Political Parties Act.
Yes.
That state clearly, and in the constitution it states that the political parties, parliamentary political parties, have to be given money by the exchequer. It is there. But what they are doing is they are trying to suffocate that.
How much is Jubilee owed, by the way?
A lot. Like this financial year, I don't think we received anything. We received very little money. It is terrible. It is not coming out as promised.
Lastly, you want to be the senator of Kajiado.
Yes.
If I remember well, and I could be wrong on this, initially at the very first time you started as MCA. Were you an MC at one point?
No.
So you just went straight to MP?
I was a commissioner, teacher service commission, before I went to parliament.
Okay.
So I started from parliament. When Satoti died,
right.
That's when I went there. But I started 2002. There is a time I competed against him.
Okay.
As a young man. Then I was a youth.
You were testing the
I wanted to
waters.
remove him.
Gen Z.
I was Gen Z. I was very young and very dynamic. And the people, Saito was sending his people, who is this young man who is really disturbing me on the ground like this?
ulikuwa umeleta shida huko.
2002 I had brought a lot of problem to him.
Yes.
I had almost gotten that seat. If he remained to be the VP, just the way Mudavadi did, I could have been a member of parliament by 2002.
Wow. Now you want to be senator?
Now I did 10 years comfortably. By the way, for the first year I won in all police stations and streams. And second term the same, 2017 the same. I won in all police stations because the record there, it can be checked, and all the streams.
Wow.
Then last year I thought
by last year you mean 2022?
Yes.
Okay.
Last year, last election now.
Yes.
2022. My people thought, and me thought, now it is the time now to go to the county to offer what you have been offering this county, the whole area.
Okay.
Then there is a lot of dynamics in Kajiado County, Kranzim and all that. I had to join forces with a former governor. He's called Olekedienye.
Right.
So that he becomes a governor. I become a deputy governor in preparation of now to ascend to be the governor.
Right.
Because he was to go one term. He had one term the previous time. So after dynamics, trying to weigh the dynamic of Kajiado, because it is predominantly the Maasai area, so many Kikuyus, so many Kambas, hapa Kitengera, Adriba and all that.
Tunajijua tuko kila mahali.
But so, proceed. I'm saying this because of the dynamics of Kajiado.
Yes.
You see?
Okay.
So when I did the statistics, I thought it's good. Now I became deputy governor then.
Yes.
Then there came this politics of Azimio. So I was in Jubilee and my candidate was in Jubilee. Me, I never moved from Jubilee. I have been that line. I was in TNA, Jubilee, and now I still in Jubilee.
You're loyal.
And I'm loyal, and also I have ascended to leadership the normal way, like any other civil servants who start from the grassroots.
And rise up. Yes.
Maybe that's what Uhuru discovered. So then there was dynamic of Azimio. As we are in Jubilee, Azimio, ODM had its own candidate, Olenengu. So Raila was supporting his candidate.
Right.
And we are there supporting him. It was very bitter to us. We are supporting somebody who is not supporting us. It was terrible. We had two candidates, a Jubilee candidate and ODM candidate. So Raila was supporting his ODM candidate. And us, now from Uhuru side,
we are supporting
Raila,
president.
and he's not supporting us.
That thing was a mess.
It was a messed up thing. Then came the election time. His agents are not being paid. I'm paying his own agents. Me now.
Joseph anatoa pesa yake
kulipa and training them. You see?
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Pole.
By the way, Raila lost because of mismanagement in ODM. They don't know how to manage elections. They know how to campaign and make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
But when it comes to managing elections,
they draw the line.
To mess sana.
Mwesh, unfortunately we've really overrun. But thank you so much.
Yes.
What we shall do now, tumeongea ya Jubilee, tumeongea national politics. Next time kuja tuongee juu ya Kajiado.
Na kwanza watu wa Kajiado mnipatie vote zenu, ni hakikisha ya kwamba hii county tumetengeneza. Kwa sababu iko karibu na Nairobi, tunataka pesa ikienda county ina trickle to the river, to Kiserian, to Ongatarongai. Isipotelee hapo Masaini
sawa.
Ama kwa mifuko ya watu.
Ni kweli.
Yes.
Sawa. Wacha tufanye hivi, wacha tuingie kwa news. Alafu mengine in about what? T-4 minutes. Don't go too far. We'll be right back.
This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. The Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs has urged Kenyans living in South Africa to obey the country's law as tensions over xenophobic protest continue to rise. In a statement, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi advised Kenyans to ensure their immigration documents are valid to help guarantee their safety. He said the Kenyan government is also stepping up efforts to evacuate and repatriate affected citizens back home. Police in Nyandarua have launched a manhunt for a former MCA and a county assembly official following overnight political violence in Olkalau that led to the destruction of property, threats and intimidation of political rivals. The clashes involving supporters of UDA and DCP parties have raised fresh concerns over political intolerance ahead of local campaigns. In response, Nyandarua County Commissioner Abdirazak Jaldesa has banned nighttime political meetings in Olkalau to help restore order and prevent further violence.
Usiku ni wakati wa kulala. Na it is very clear wakati wa kupiga campaign. Campaign kutoka asubuhi mpaka saa 11, 12 pale. Tumeona kwamba vitu vingi ambazo zinafanyika jioni na usiku. Kwa hii wiki mbili imebaki, hatutakubali sasa watu kupiga siasa na kampeni ya usiku ambao inaweza kuhatarisha maisha ya wananchi wetu. Wacha kampeni ikuwe mchana wakati ambao imewekwa na IBC. Baada ya hiyo tafadhali vyama vyote ziruhusu watu kwenda nyumbani na kufanya kazi yao na kupikia watoto wao.
The Social Health Authority says it has paid out more than 27 billion Kenya shillings to county health facilities out of claims worth 40.9 billion shillings submitted by hospitals across the country. In a statement, Shah said about 80% of processed claims have been settled, while some claims are still under review, awaiting documents, or were rejected for failing to meet required standards. The authority added that the counties with the highest payouts include Nakuru, Nairobi, Homa Bay, Mombasa, and Kiambu. A family in Kakamega is demanding justice following brutal rape and murder of a young girl in an incident that has shocked residents. Police have detained a suspect as investigations continue into the killing. Residents are now calling for stronger measures to protect children and improve security in the area.
Kwa tumesimama hapa, nikasikia semeji yangu anapiga nduru. Kufika hapo, akaniambia achungulia kwa hiyo shimo. Nikachungulia, nikapata mtoto hapo ndani. Nikaanza kulia nikikuja, vile nilifika hapa, kuna kijana anatoka kwa hiyo boma. Akaniuliza kwani shida ni nini? Nikamuuliza shida, tumepata mtoto huku chini.
Kufikia asubuhi tuko makanisani, tunapata ripoti ya kwamba mtoto amerepiwa, ametupa kwa choo. Lakini haki itendeke.
The World Health Organization has declared the hantavirus outbreak linked to the cruise ship MV Hondias officially over. WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus said the last person exposed to the virus completed quarantine, tested negative, and safely returned home. He says despite the declaration, the UN agency will continue monitoring the disease.
Today, the final contact person of a person exposed to hantavirus on the cruise ship MV Hondius completed their quarantine period, tested negative, and returned home. No further cases have been reported since the 25th of May. We're therefore very pleased to say that WHO considers the outbreak of hantavirus over. The total number of cases from the outbreak remains 13, including 3 deaths.
And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio.
I've never seen anything like this.
But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast. Curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey.
You got it locked.
Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights. Radio Generation.
Right. It is now 14 minutes past 9 o'clock. How are you doing? It is the People's Breakfast on Radio Generation, 88.8 FM in Nairobi, 90.7 Mombasa, 89.5 in Garissa. In studio kama kawaida CT yako hapa. Na kuna vitu mimi nimesikia in the previous hour and I'm like, kumbe si ati hatujui what we are supposed to do. It's just that we are not doing it. We are just, is it ignoring or assuming? I don't know. But something is definitely amiss. However, in this hour, we want to talk about transforming Nairobi City County. And in studio, we have our favorite resident planner and urban specialist, Patrick Adolwa. Patrick, good morning and welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, at this rate ana naambianga watu sijui kama wanajua but tulisha kupatia ofisi, carpet, secretary na kila kitu.
Associate.
Exactly. Wewe ushakuwa mwenyeji. So karibu tena sana.
Asante sana ndugu.
And for the second time we are also hosting Tom Odongo. Now Tom Odongo is also a planner and he is a former Nairobi town clerk. Tom, once again glad to have you here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Karibu sana. Cities huwapatia methali before tuingie kwa hii mambo ya transforming Nairobi County.
Our proverbs for the whole of this week have been from the Republic of South Africa, and today is the final day for the proverbs. And this particular proverb is actually very simple. It's something that we can all relate to easily.
Right.
If you are looking for a fly in your food, it means you are full.
Means umeshiba.
Uko sawa.
Patrick, tuanze na wewe.
I find these proverbs very interesting. I don't know what it means to look for a fly in food, but my thinking is that we have a lot of things that we take for granted. We try to do things that perhaps we are too obvious. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Right. Tom?
I'm thinking that this is basically reinforcing the doctrine of contentment. Yeah.
Actually, you're right. Both of you are right. But I like that you've just made it very short and direct to the point. Ni ukweli. Umetosheka bwana. You start looking for reasons not to engage. So thank you so much.
Where does he get these proverbs from? Is there a directory of proverbs in or a dictionary?
They're in the public domain. So all one does is you look, and there are many. So you look for the proverbs that the proverbs are it's a mixture of proverbs that in my mind are easy to understand. Some I choose and I honestly don't understand them myself. But I'm wondering what on earth are these people talking about. So then I throw it to the public now. Let them also join me in wondering what these people are talking about.
In being confused.
Yes, kabisa.
Yes.
We should have some urban proverbs so that we can look at the complexity and some of the...
It is a valid point. I will actually take a note and I will look for urban proverbs.
Me, I'll actually challenge Patrick to the next time you come, bring us one.
I'll coin one and I'll look for some because we've got a lot of paradoxes and contradictions in the urban space.
Yes.
That why do people believe they are very sustainable environments in rural places to come to a place where they cannot enjoy the dignity of a toilet?
You bring in a very interesting discussion, not perspective discussion, on what it is or how it is that people prefer what they would gravitate towards.
Yes.
You see, we tend to think that the decision-making process is what is paramount in the decision that we make. It isn't the case. It is not the case. For instance, the power of example. Why did we have a rural-urban migration? It was because of the belief that the urban areas had more pleasant, more pleasurable things than yes. And partly because what the urban areas seemed to offer was different. Not that it was better, just different.
But perception is very important.
Yes.
Here. Yeah.
But remember, again, there's the historical factor of education and how people related to education. People associated education with the changing of people's lives for the better. For instance, in an earlier time, somebody who was educated got a good job, as we called it, and you knew they were doing well because the roof on their parents' home changed from being grass thatched to corrugated iron
sheet.
Yes, and people, and they could see. And if that person really progressed, at some point they would have a vehicle. So that person acted as an example or a motivator for other people to realize if you actually go to school, you will be like so and so's son. The daughters didn't feature then.
But also, you see, when in the olden days,
yes,
the homes that the male adult migrated to go and work, he sends money to the wife.
Yes.
And the wife contracts local labor to do a lot of work in that home. And even if you read how capitalism penetrated rural Kenya, which started in Nyaera and Kabete in Kikuyu, this is how actually it started penetrating by the transmission that is done from the rural is being used to replace the labor that migrated.
That's how Chavakali got it.
And then you start finding that there is a change in that home, and people go there to do some work. So it looks more opulent.
The name Chavakali, what does it mean?
So he talks about Kabete and Nyahera.
Yes.
And Chavakali means the women's market.
Ah, okay.
So the women's market is a women's market because remittances have arrived and the women have picked the remittances from the Nairobi and elsewhere, Guru. And so they are happy to have money, and so every so often the women gather at Chavakali to collect money, and the place becomes the place of women.
Because the power came from women understanding that the money that they have been sent can actually replace the labor that has migrated.
This is it not a wonderful thing to have planners, because they give you a perspective that you would never have thought of. So essentially, were we then transferring, by virtue of these remittances, we were actually transforming the rural areas into urban centers?
We were.
Yeah, because capitalism
in a way. I mean, even all these transfers required certain infrastructure and certain services and certain skills concentrated in places, in local places. And therefore you had to start building some infrastructure of sorts and service nodes of sorts.
Labor was more voluntary, Patrick. What now you find is that the women used that money to put a value on labor that was being offered more as communally. Now it was now individualized, and it had a value that it can be paid for. Yes.
It's population capitalism.
Okay, so the question is, in an earlier time, when work was you needed labor, how did you compensate the labor?
You exchanged. We worked for you, and you worked for us in return. We worked in groups.
That was the understanding.
Yes. In fact, at some point, I was suggesting to the governor of Vihiga that Akaranga at that time, that we may need to create something called Sindikiza Mama Shambani, which means that you create very close-knit community groups, and they work in groups, and they get inputs, proper inputs, and the local community, the development of the local community is organized on the basis of agricultural output, whether it is chicken farming or kale or whatever it is. But it's not done willy-nilly. It's done in a structured way so that the chief becomes the supervisor of economic activities rather than being in a police sort of role.
In a policing role.
Yes.
And what did the governor think about it?
It was a great idea. There was Sindikiza Mama Shambani, and there was Adopt a school and a classroom and things like those. And but
the end,
they never took off. They ended up just as conceptual.
So are we suggesting that the money economy had a much bigger pull than an idea of that nature that people could easily adapt within the environment in which they lived?
Yes, but remember that there was a tag on taxation, and therefore there was also a strategy by the colonial government to make sure that males leave to go to the industrial complex
without their spouses.
Without their spouses.
Yes.
So money became very important in that dynamic, because then a man had to earn money to pay tax. Yes.
So tax actually was triggered movement from the rural to centers where colonial economies were concentrated, and one of the things you would find there is that the immediately that labor is released from working in the rural area, and then the replacement has to be done. That triggered. The other thing that triggered is, so this means that the person must earn money to pay taxes, poll tax and all those kind of things. The second one is that if he earns money, he has to send money. Then that introduces a money economy within the rural area. The moment money economy penetrated the rural areas, it means that labor had a value, labor could be exploited. It also means that barter trading was now have to compete with people with the money economy, and the money economy was much stronger than the barter trading. So it could only be yes, it could only be. So and because even in the rural areas, people were paying poll tax, so they needed cash. Yeah, so they could then sell their produce rather than exchanging it with another product. They would rather get cash money, you know. Yes.
So if we were to transform Nairobi, Tom, and I'll start with you, where would we even start, and what exactly is this transformation supposed to look like?
Okay. Nairobi's transformation, in my opinion, should be a transition from what we have today to a model of development that is dominated by formality, and I'm looking at formality being the main feature of various facets of urban development, whether it is housing, transportation, urban services, employment, social inclusion. All those things should have the features of formal. Why formal? The significance of formal urban system is this. Formal urban system guarantees is predictable, it's efficient, and it is attractive to investment, because what you need is investment. At the same time, it also guarantees equitable access to urban services and resources. This is not to say that informality should be eliminated. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that differential can still be there, but differential should not be in terms of access to services. Yes. If you have got a discriminative system, then you cannot transform. But this is the way. So, but if you go informal, I'll give you a typical example. If Nairobi was like Windhoek, for example.
All right.
A very, very formal city. Nairobi would be probably one of the countries where international capital is concentrated. Yeah. But one of the things that is happening in Nairobi is that informality is now beginning to grow very, very fast. And that informality becomes one of the features, one of the constraints to transformation. The other constraint to transformation is also of course, governance. I will always mention that.
Okay.
But the other one also is the infrastructure gap. the infrastructure gap in Nairobi is very, very big. The second one is that the spatial structure of Nairobi was evolved by apartheid system. So it was supposed to serve a completely different economic system.
Wait, the Nairobi what? Spatial?
Nairobi was based on urban apartheid.
Okay.
Yes, that it was supposed to serve a particular class of people, and certain people were coming as labor.
Yes.
That supports that system to
function.
Okay.
I think people may not understand when you say apartheid. That Nairobi was stratified was segregated on racial basis and on class basis.
And also land uses.
By the way, apartheid is the best way of describing it, because it's like you legalize this stratification. It is by law.
So you have the side of the haves and the have-nots.
Then this spatial structure was based on the idea that the central area would provide all employment, and residential will be on the other areas. Now that spatial economy worked in those days. It can't work in the present.
Why did it work in those days?
Those days, because they had containment policy. They were not. They did not anticipate rapid urban growth.
No, they didn't anticipate independence.
Okay, because independence is the one that. Okay, so
Kenya was supposed to be like Australia or New Zealand. These places were never supposed to go back to blacks.
It was. Kenya was organized to be a white settlement.
Yes.
It only failed because it was released in the market the same time that Australia and New Zealand were released, which were much more competitive. But you still find that if you go to South Africa, you find so many people who will tell you that they were in Nairobi before independence. They actually,
there are a lot of brewers in
Eldoret. Yes.
So that spatial, the spatial economy is very, very important for you to get a transformation. You must transform that spatial from what was serving colonial to what now can serve the people we have. Probably one typical example you can get for illustration for ordinary people to see is that in the morning, when you are driving into the city, one side of the road is totally idle.
Yes, it is.
And one side
traffic jam.
It can't move. Yeah, I mean that is just a reflection of an inefficient spatial system. It is a bad system. Now the reason why that system is because you decided to do what we call, those segregation also was supported with what we call single zoning, single use zoning. But you design a place is for residential, a place is for industrial, a place is for agriculture, for commercial, which means that you are anticipating a lot of movement.
You generate a lot of trips.
You are generating a lot of trips.
At certain times.
At certain times, At certain times, and that is a very, very inefficient spatial economy. So one of the bottlenecks again to Nairobi is that inefficient spatial economy.
But Tom, at the time when they had this spatial system, where had they borrowed it from? Because it's not as though we created it in Nairobi. It came from somewhere.
No, in 48 it definitely came from South Africa.
Yes. You know, Nairobi was built on a basis of something that was borrowed from Natal province. The consultants that came here to do the 1948. It was based on a concept that was borrowed from Natal, province in South Africa. So it was basically what we call a concentric system, that you have a concentration of employment in one area, and then people pass. But the most important thing that this was doing, it was actually supporting segregation, so that the eastern part was for the labor force that support the system, and the western part are for the colonial elites that the city is meant to serve.
Yep.
Yeah, but for me, I think the critical question is we're in this conversation because talk has been going around about the need for transformation of Nairobi. And I cannot help wonder what it is that goes on in their minds when they are talking about transformation of Nairobi. Because it could be a transformation that they don't define very well, and it could be something that may need to be unpacked. And because we do not know what they mean when they say Nairobi is ripe for transformation, then we are left to grope in the dark, or to think widely around the concept of transformation and what could be the possible elements of that transformation. And so are they thinking about transforming Nairobi's internal structure, to which Tom has spoken very eloquently? Or are they thinking about transforming Nairobi so that it can be a better capital of the Republic of Kenya, and with the functional specializations of the capital city? Or are they thinking about Nairobi as a regional hub, for East and Central Africa? You're talking about banking, you're talking about logistics and manufacturing, finance, and so on and so forth. Is that really what Nairobi needs to transform itself to serve? Or is it the UN city? Is it a global hub? Is it a place that multinationals operate from as the launching pad for forays into the African continent? Is it the air transport hub for the region? And all these questions are valid about what Nairobi should be doing in terms of transformation. And yet at the same time, Nairobi is ranked 56th in the global index of doing things. Nairobi ranks 56th.
Who does this ranking?
DHL Express, Sub-Saharan Africa, and European House Ambrosetti, from whatever studies they have done, they rank Nairobi as 56th globally out of 80 emerging cities in global, sort of, I don't know what to call it, index of attractiveness. Index of attractiveness.
Attractive to whom?
Yes, but I mean there are parameters that they have employed that help them to rank. It's an objective criteria.
Objective as in it's an external assessment.
Yes, for many cities, not just Nairobi.
Yes,
and it goes around environment, social conditions, economy, urban infrastructure, digital infrastructure, and things like that.
Do they take into account what it is that the inhabitants of these cities think about their own city?
No, probably not.
I don't think they
But we are coming there. They wouldn't be thinking like that. But that is why, in our own conceptualization of things here, and in our own way of looking at transformation, those would be material issues that we are looking at. And it boils down to the question whether we want Nairobi to function as a local town, or we want it to function as a capital city, or a regional hub. And still on the question of transformation, what do you want it to transform from? And what is it you want it to be after the transformation? And so all these questions can be put. Yes, you want it to transform as a local hub where all the street traders become formalized and so on and so forth, where you make the government functions a little bit more efficient and so on and so forth. And you can go on endlessly about what you want to transform Nairobi to do. And I argue that, yes, all these things you can do if you choose. But is that the transformation that somebody is thinking about?
I think if we consider what previous and current governments have been saying, they want it to be a regional hub. At least that is how I've understood it. And even the local, what are they called? The governors. It's all about making it into a regional hub.
Meaning what?
Such that, for example, what he said, is it a local, is it a regional logistics hub? Is it a regional commercial hub? And I think whichever hub we choose, I'd want us to have all of them in this particular city.
But as a country,
yeah,
why do we need to have cities? we have spelled out that position in the Vision 2030.
Okay.
And one is that we are using cities as transformative,
entities.
The second one is that for us to do two things. Number one is to be able to transform our socio-economic, development to reach an upper middle class. That's what we are saying.
Yes.
Then we are also saying now, what are the indicators of middle class economy? Number one is that your GDP growth must reach certain level.
Okay.
The second one is that the highest number of population should be enjoying a certain standard of living. A certain standard of living. So one of the imperative, therefore, that should be infused in transformation is how does that transformation lead to access to better standard of living for the Kenyans? How does it also lead to, because when I said that employment should informality should feature in every facet of the development, including employment, is that when you have formal, and you can see that one today, formal employment tend to ensure job security, tend to ensure high productivity, tend to ensure social protection, tend to basically give good working conditions.
Okay.
And those are the things, those are the parameters that would really make a city be seen as a transformative. But in the informal, and I'm not saying that informal, they are very good examples of where informality works better.
Okay.
But we are saying that this informality that is growing can still be part of our transformation, in the sense that we do not change its character, but we change the way it is treated by public policy. So there are two things to do. There are barriers, which are institutional factors, but there are also institutional ingredients which can facilitate transformation. So we are looking at two ways in which transformation can take place. But one thing that we must agree is that it should not just serve, because cities are operating in a competitive framework globally, even at the regional level. So what Patrick is saying, that we want it to be, when you say that we want it to be a regional hub, it means that we want to raise Nairobi's competitiveness to be economically dominant in the region.
Okay.
That must also reflect in the capacities that Nairobi is creating, capacity to be productive. The citizens of Nairobi must be the most productive citizens for Nairobi to be better. How do they become productive? They have got access to good housing. They could have affordable and decent housing. Their infrastructure for production, for production, they have got access to. All those things that make people productive are Nairobi has. That is how Nairobi will. Then the attractiveness to investment and also an ecosystem that allows for business growth, startups, digital governance, all those things must be part of that. So there are elements, there are institutional ingredients that we need to infuse for transformation to take place. But there are also still institutional factors that are barriers to that. Because, one of them is, why are we not where we are? Is governance is one of the questions. There is no city in the world that is transformative without good governance. Without good governance, it cannot happen. Leadership and also institutional capacity. It cannot, without a visionary leader. Visionary leadership that will not compromise anything for political interest, but will prioritize long-term vision of the city, is the key to doing this. So the way to look at this is that why are we not having visionary leadership that will provide, that will actually prioritize long-term vision of cities. I
think last time we were here, we spoke about knowledge gap.
Yes.
And I'm thinking. I think I'm certain it is because of that knowledge gap that we do not have folks who can come up with a visionary kind of plan. They think of the short term without necessarily projecting, the future. But then again, I could be wrong as far as that.
But policymakers know that. But I mean, for example, people like me and Patrick, who have worked with political economy actors, will tell you that political economy actors first pursue interests even within a government system.
Yes.
How do you moderate them? You only moderate them by creating a long-term policy that is very, very clear on the vision. The problem we have now, and I will give you two scenarios. If you see governments, when government people at the presidents, they come with their manifesto is focused on strategy to implement what is already there, the Vision 2030. At the county level, manifestos are talking about new visions, new visions, but without strategy on how they are going to be implemented.
Okay.
And I think that is where we wanted to go.
Yeah,
That's where we want to go, because if you're talking about transformation, then there is a presumption that something is amiss. But then you've got to have a leader, thought leader. You've got to have a champion, and even at the risk of being monotonous, I say at the moment, you have somebody in New York called Mamdani.
Yep.
And you had Lee Kuan Yew, and they were very strong leaders, and they did not think in 5-year cycles. They think long term, because transformation is the substance around which a lot of things are looked at, and in the long term, and then facilitated in cycles. Short-term strategic projects and programs and so on and so forth. But then you have to go back to the configuration of the city as either a vehicle for forays into the international, or administration into the local, or regional, and so on and so forth. So you have to look at the special functions that you must establish, you must domicile in the city of Nairobi for it to be serving in a transformative role. So if you have those functions, those special functions are that it is capital city, it is financial hub, it is air transport, whatever functions you want, you assign, then you must make sure that those functions have the necessary infrastructure. Because at the moment we are talking about the impediments to global competitiveness, and we are talking about restrictive business regulations. Okay, that's the milieu. I mean, there's too much policing in Nairobi over nothing. You open a shop and 3 people will be coming every day to your shop. One is from license, another one is from NEMA, another one is from Kenya Police, another one is from whatever, Kenya Revenue Authority, and you do not know whether somebody is. Then you have serious infrastructure deficits in this entity that you're calling Nairobi, which is supposed to be transformative. Serious underdeveloped public utilities. Only about 46% of people in Nairobi actually use internet, and less than 1/3 of Nairobi can actually access a sewer. I mean, those are serious infrastructure deficits. You're talking about water. A capital city with water bowsers. What will happen when all these skyscrapers are built, to full build out? Yeah, then you begin to see the magnitude of the transformation that is required. Emergency services, fire. I mean, at some point we were brave enough to say that we wanted to have every sub-county with a fire station. A long time ago, we were talking about transforming the city inspectorate into people who serve a dual role, that every city inspector or city constable was also a fire person. That was the kind of ideas we were having. That if that
how did that work?
No, it didn't go too far. He will tell us about it, because when I left, I think he battled with it. Then we're talking about traffic bottlenecks We are not thinking about bus rapid transit. We're not thinking about mass rapid transit. And we have informal settlements, 40% of people living there and so on. So all this poor planning, lack of organized public transport, we are talking about what is not right. What ails Nairobi to the extent that you must be then beginning to ask yourself, what are these things about which transformation must, be discussed around? Okay? And I can tell you, we can have this discussion for the next 1 month and we will not finish.
The potential of Nairobi is held back by a number of things. One of which you have just mentioned, the transport, the mobility access. Productivity of individuals can easily be enhanced by access to mobility alone.
Okay.
Yes. You find that majority of Nairobians do not have access to urban services that determine their level of productivity. Yeah. So the system has made them to be a burden to the city itself, whereas they're actually potential resource that can actually transform, contribute to transformation.
Yeah.
So social exclusion is something that was part of the urban apartheid, but that should not be in today's urban system.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we should be looking at is how we can enhance social inclusion.
Okay.
And then another thing is that when you look at bodies coming like resident associations, I think there's a logic to this. It seems that there is gap in governance.
Yeah.
And also there is a flow of knowledge or ideas that is at the grassroots level that need to be able to flow into decision making at the city level. But this is not. There is no system that can actually suck in those ideas to support governance. And the thing that was provided for in the constitution was that when you are elected governor of any town,
yes,
you are supposed to devolve the power that you get immediately you are elected to the lower units. What does it mean? It does not mean be concentrating your government by creating boroughs and what we call the administrative units.
Yes, yes.
It meant that you are supposed to release power, resources, and authority to the lower units and decision-making powers to the lower units.
And the lower units are represented by what? Wards or sub-counties?
The municipal board.
Municipal boards, the wards, and but the municipal boards are actually in legal terms are the units.
Yes.
That and the board is representative.
Okay.
It's a representative board.
Let's take Nairobi as an example.
Yes.
You have a county government.
Yes.
Where would the municipal boards be?
Yeah, we've talked about this several times.
Yes, we have.
Let's go back there as part of transforming the governance, okay? Because we're talking about transforming Nairobi, if you like, the county. And we're saying, for God's sake, let's allow Nairobi to be able to run efficiently.
Yes.
And also for people to take part in decision making.
And to be able to access services easily.
Yes. And resources.
Yes.
So that means that if you have a board, then you have the representation that he's talking about. You have people and communities, the neighborhood associations can elect somebody to sit in the board at Kasarani municipality or Kasarani board.
So these are these constituencies or are they wards?
No, those are now municipalities.
I've understood.
Yes.
What does a municipality encompass? That's what I'm asking.
So a municipality is a territory, like you asked me this question a fortnight ago, and I said it is this territory that is established under the Urban Areas and Cities Act. And it says there shall be a board, and there shall be people represented there. There will be staff, and there will be, systems and structures for performing a whole range of municipal services that are required at last mile municipal level, which then, for example, are being, in this arrangement, they're being delivered by a barrow, but the barrow cannot, it does not have the complete configuration of the municipal services that are required at a local level for, say, 500,000 people.
So the municipality
200,000
represents
people. Yes,
a devolution of structure.
the ultimate destination of devolution.
What they've done now, they have defined the barrows. What is missing is the software. They have not transferred any decision-making powers to the barrow. They have not transferred the resources there. Because there is provision for central decentralization, fiscal decentralization. They should allow them to be financially independent. Yes. Then also the authority to make decisions should all move there. Those are critical institutional ingredients that if you do not move to the to those units operate as hive-hosts of the central power base,
and this
they are not independent.
And this perpetuates inefficiency in the entire fabric, in the whole fabric. You remember him talking about these inefficiencies that are occasioned by spatial differentiation, and that people live in one place and they work in another place and all that. If you create municipalities, then you begin to also decentralize land use, and you go back to creation of self-sustaining urban entities within the larger fabric of Nairobi. Okay, so you're talking about devolving the center into regional nodes where a lot of these things can happen.
Why is such a simple concept such a hard sell?
It's a power dynamic.
Okay.
There's something, as you answer Tom, there's something Tom said. He said at the national level, when they are campaigning, they're always talking about this vision. But at the county level, and may correct me if I'm wrong, he said hapa wanaongeanga about new stuff bwana. So there's a disconnect. And then let's remember that at the end of the day, at the county levels, that's where development is supposed to be experienced the most, because that is where anyway it's the smallest unit. So when you said that disparity, that thing actually just made me think we are at petri dish that is just full of germs and pathogens and there's nothing, and everyone is trying to, the bacteria are trying to overtake the fungus, and it's just not working.
Politics.
That's a very diabolical way of putting it.
You say politics. Yes. Politics usually is about interests, and the reason why we have to institutionalize, political power, is to restrain politics from being abusive.
Okay.
Now, we have not done well at the county level. Let me give you an example. When a governor is elected, the power he receives doesn't percolate to anything. There are no entities through which that power percolates to.
So it is him.
Is held in raw form.
You couldn't have put it better.
Yes, is held in raw form. So it means that even being a spouse of a governor, I can wield
power,
a lot of power informally. So now what does that one create? Because now he has got all this power, and there's so many political interests. So a governance system is like I could tell it is like a pipe, and this pipe has got certain capacity, and a lot of political interests are pushed into this pipe. So this pipe is continuously processing political interest, but there is also public service that is supposed to provide.
Yes.
The political economy ecosystem that we have currently is only processing political interest.
And
it is very, very weak.
I want to chime in there. In fact, you put the debate at a very good place. So we're talking about politics and strategy, and they're two totally different things. Let me tell you, politics is is a struggle over allocation of the resources. It's a rough game. It's winner take it all. It is the strongest or the loudest or the most influential who will deliver things for people, and there's no logic involved in it. It is raw. So he's spoken to a situation where the governor is all powerful, almighty, has all these resources. They are tax resources, they are public resources, but he can play politics with it. But he needs to channel these things into a system and structure that is well defined. That's the transformation that we're talking about, for example, from the perspective of the governance.
Yes.
So if you do not have a properly charted territory where you have delineated places properly, the barrier is still very... I have problems because it's all over the place. It's not well delineated. So how do you channel all these resources in a structured way so that it's measurable? You need somebody who is thinking strategy, not somebody who is thinking political impact. Strategy has the connotation that you are very methodical, you're very deliberate, you have an output and outcome that you are working for.
What you're suggesting is that then we are devolution has failed us.
In many ways,
no.
In many ways, no. The concept is okay. It has failed us.
Devolution has not failed us.
In this aspect of urban transformation.
Do not worry, I am still going to disagree that it has not failed us.
This guy wants to throw spanners.
It's not that, because devolution is a concept.
Of course it's a concept.
The failure is not the concept.
No.
Exactly. Yes, that's really
we didn't say the concept failed us. But where we were asking about this idea that we do not have. One way of mitigating this is that I think in South Africa you'll find this has happened.
Yeah.
Because there's no need that we should work like you should trust politicians. We need to restrain them through institutionalization of certain things so that they behave in a certain way. So one way of directing politics into the way that we should be doing is that first there should be a long-term vision for the city.
Yes.
And this long-term vision for the city should be protected through a national legislation and a long-term national development agenda. So that even governors can behave like people at the national, in the sense that now if a governor wants to campaign, he's not campaigning that he's introducing a new agenda into the city. He's now telling us the strategies that he's going to use. How is he better in implementing
the same vision?
The same vision.
The vision remains.
The vision remains.
Yeah.
Because this idea that every manifesto is coming with a vision every 5 years is cannot work for any city.
True, because we have also a lot of stalled projects.
Yes.
Because you come with yours and you negate what Patrick started.
So currently, Kenya does not have. Patrick is more an expert on the institutional governance strategy part, but there's also another strategy of the territory, which we are focusing on the territorial development of the city. We have a very clear long-term vision that this is what is going to happen, and that is linked to national government strategy objectives, so that it is supported at the national government level, because there are elements that serve the objectives of the national government, and then this is so. This remains constant, even in political transition. It doesn't change. So the only thing governors can tell us is strategies for implementation, but not coming with a new thing. That can also
don't reinvent the wheel.
But the second thing also is I think also that we need also to replicate certain aspects of national government into the county government. When a president is elected, his powers move to different institutions, so you find that he remains with only certain things he can do. There are so many things he cannot do.
But hold that point.
But I'm telling you that
governors can do even the most ridiculous thing that you think.
We have seen it happen.
This point.
Yes, Patrick.
So this is. I don't want it to be lost because it's important to be able to say that the president governs or delivers development through different vehicles, and for the national government that has been historical. So the president has the benefit of historical institutions. The county not so. So what do other countries do? For example, in London, for them to be able to do long-term development without interruption by subsequent mayors, they have the London Development Agency, and it looks after things that must be.
And it's an independent institution.
And it is an independent institution. In Singapore, they created an urban redevelopment agency. They did actually create a redevelopment agency. And we are saying that in the case of Nairobi, you do actually need a separate vehicle that can withstand the shocks of 5-year electoral cycles. Because Nairobi has had 4 governors.
Yes.
Yeah? Is it 4 governors?
We've had there was Kidero, there was Sonko, there was Kananu.
So 4 governors, okay?
Yes.
So 4 governors in 10 years is a bit of an overkill. You do need an agency that then can deal with the transformation of Nairobi, and the key elements of that transformation can be determined, okay, in a very objective way, in a manner to allow Nairobi to be able to play its regional, national role, its regional role, its internal role, its global role. Competitively. And what does that agency look like? It looks like something of the Nairobi River Commission kind of special purpose vehicle. And we're saying this very deliberately because if you do not do that, then transforming Nairobi remains a wishful thought because no one can actually implement it. You know, I mean, there are too many agencies involved in doing different things. You do need a special purpose vehicle so that you can deal with the crucial issue of mass transportation, for example, but it also integrates with other things that are happening that are coming on stream at the moment, like conferencing facilities, sports complexes, and so on and so forth. And you need to be able to give it a time frame within which it must be achieved, whether there is a new governor or not. And I'm thinking we need to give Nairobi the opportunity to and chance to be able to create that special purpose vehicle where these key elements of transformation can be, domiciled, and where you have people who have authority to do that transformation work without being impacted unnecessarily by competing political interests.
So what will be the work of a governor at this point if we have that kind of authority?
No, I mean, it doesn't interfere with the work of the governor.
It may not interfere because what you are doing is that you are corporatizing service delivery and infrastructure development.
Okay.
But you are leaving policy and key governance decision at that. But what you've done by corporatizing, you have insulated this important aspect from daily political interference. Yes, so that they are driven by policy and.
Two questions here as we finish this convo. There is one Nixon Award Mesema Radio Generation. Kindly ask Planner Tom, what is the impact of 6 boroughs in Nairobi introduced recently? You've spoken a little bit about it, but in a few words.
No. For me, this is an attempt to create something that look like decentralization. It's more of I think it's driven by the political the political aesthetics to appear to be compliant.
Yes.
But really not being compliant because it does not deliver decision-making power to the people on the ground. It has not taken resources there. It has not taken also the the authority.
I like the way you said it. Just looks like they are complying, but
Yes.
No, they don't have the whole range of the civil service requirement to do work at that level. We are talking about huge populations which require last mile attention, and the borough is not doing that. It's actually aesthetic.
All right.
In fact, yesterday we were discussing with you. Yesterday there was a public participation on the boroughs, and I listened to one of the comments by one of the participants. They were happy that they have got people who they can complain to. Then I wondered that we still need to do a lot of awareness, because if people can be satisfied with just getting officers you can complain to that have no authority even to solve your problem.
I don't think they know that second part.
Yes.
They don't know that these guys can't do anything.
It's a pressure valve. If you establish a borough as a pressure valve, then you miss the objective of decentralization.
Actually, it isn't created as a pressure valve. When a politician makes a decision, it is a political decision that is supposed to bring about a political end.
Exactly.
And in this case, when you give the impression that you are actually providing services, because that's what a borough implies, where in reality you are not.
Yes.
It's a politician being a politician.
You make a good point, but we're saying that the transformation must also include administrative transformation, where you do not do things for the sake of. You do not do it to make a political point. You actually owe people the responsibility of service delivery. You need to grow your economy. You need to make your city globally competitive, and therefore whether you meet your political objective does not help your own city in competing on a global stage. I think you would like to consider, as the mayor of Nairobi or the governor of Nairobi, how your position is being nullified by, amongst others, Addis Ababa or Kigali. And you may need to bring your roads and transportation and other facilities to a level where you can compete with those two. And that doesn't require polemics, and it doesn't require aesthetics. It requires real investment in global competitiveness.
What is evidenced by the position we have, the political position of governors? What strikes you and what hits you in the face every time you look at it is deficit. A deficit, and take your pick. It's a deficit of vision. It's a deficit of understanding the need to provide services. It's deficit after deficit after deficit.
But I would tend to disagree, notwithstanding the seriousness on your face. I would say that it is unwillingness to accept that all these issues have been identified and that they are in the public domain, that we know all these inefficiencies, poor urban planning, lack of multimodal transport, but we have refused to allow the best that we have to help us to make the difference that we need to make. Because Kenya is not short of expertise. Kenya is not short of people who can invest in these things that we are talking about as deficiencies that make Nairobi uncompetitive, and that we still have very good opportunities to create all the systems that.
But the politician is implementing a manifesto. You see the challenge we have here.
Agreed.
Until you entrench this long-term vision as the only working document, that no one can come with manifestos.
That's what we're saying. That's the transformation
is important. But I think we also need to begin to think about leadership as opposed just to governance. The visionary leadership. If you go to Japan and you go to the cities, every town you would be told that this was done during this mayor. This is transformed by this mayor. Everything in the city is associated with the period of a certain mayor.
A certain leadership.
Here is hardly you can get there. But again, what we are saying is that just getting the institutionalization of political power that you are giving to the counties, because here now bringing both executive power to an elected person. This is not something we've done before. This is too much power.
All right.
Yes.
Gentlemen, unfortunately, we are done. Nimechukua madaka mingi, but thank you so much. Someone has actually suggested that next time you come for 2 hours, so be prepared for that. Meanwhile, let's get into